Hello guys, I'm just waiting for my video to finish encoding. I set 8 videos off like an hour ago and then... Oh, never mind, we're good. It finished. Sweet! Alright, hello. Yeah, I was just waiting for it to finish before I try to make my PC do too much stuff at once. It was going to be fine, and then I managed to somehow try and send my... I tried to basically make a VOD of... Trying to make a VOD of the entire stream, which took a bit of time, so slowed things down. Alrighty, just need to grab some replays and drag them over. Cool. So we're going to have a slight change to the Wikipedia schedule, guys. So Percival's pre-played his games, which is kind of fine because all of his games, or the couple of games at the end, were going to be from replays anyway, so he's pre-played them over the last day or so. However, because Lambo Percival was going to be the second match of the day, but that's pre-played, we're going to do Lambo Percival first, which means that we get a initial series, like we get the first series replays. But it just means that Lambo doesn't play a live match, has to wait for a match to be casted from replays, and then plays another live match. So it just condenses the live matches down for the players. And yeah, so basically we're going to start the day off with Lambo Percival instead of Lambo Shin. Then we're going to go into that ZVZ whenever this first series wraps up, and we will just go from there. So I don't think we have much to do. My ad break just ended, so we're good there. We're live on YouTube. Double check that because I've been going live. We've got all the audio actually working too. Let's cast some StarCraft 2. So it's going to be Lambo versus Percival, ZVT to start us off, and like I say, we'll go into a Lambo Shin series after this instead. So that's what's currently ongoing. That's what the day is going to have for you guys. Awesome. Awesome. Just double check everything is set up, which I think we are. Bam, let's send it. In the bottom left-hand side, we're going to start things off with the blue Zerg player. This is going to be Lambo. Taking on, in the top right corner, the red Terran player, Percival. So this is going to be a best of 3, ZVT. And get into action and see what's going to happen. Let's get this all started up and ready to go, go, go. Old Republic. So yeah, a little bit of Lambo Percival. So joining back into this group, obviously this is day 2 of the Group A of Group Stage 2, so what we do actually have is a little bit of catching you guys up with where everyone is at in this group, just so you kind of know what's on the line. Top 3 players advance. Obviously all the games will be finished today as well, so we'll know exactly what the standings of Group A will be. Nobody is safe yet. Everybody know the best player in the group is Kira at 2-0. He could lose out and he could be eliminated from 2 and 3, so there's really everything up for grabs today. As Percival sits at 1-1. If you remember last week, Percival, he opened 1-2 against Kyo. It's actually a very close series. Then he 2-0'd Shameless. So he's at 1-1. Lambo, unfortunately, sits at 0-2. He took a map off of Shameless, but did lose that series. Also lost out to Zoun. So actually very important for Lambo to start winning right here. This win right here would kind of keep him alive. Going to 0-3 would be very bad for him. There are reasons still to play. There's a difference in prize money between 4th, 5th, and 6th place in this group, but the general idea, obviously, is let's get top 3, let's advance to the playoffs, which happen next weekend. So, next weekend to wrap up this spring championship, and we start heading into the summer season. As CV goes over, a couple Queenslings and the drones will all build. The Reaper pulls back into the natural for a few moments. Just going to see Grenade, Lings and the drones gather up. Just going to see the Reaper drop back down. Triple CC going to be the build, no surprises from Percival. He is going to make this into a nice, comfortable starting point for him. So triple command center on the way up. The factory is coming through. The Reaper hops up to the high ground. And again, Hatchery, Overlord, Queen, and the Link Speed still coming. Reaper is just going to fight. And a couple Zerglings take a step away as another grenade comes down. The Queen's still getting bopped about. A hatchery continue to come through, and a few additional drones coming along with that as well. This Reaper back around in the center. And yeah, command center coming up. It's currently about halfway done, so we get that CC halfway through. Starport is coming online. Hatchery is still about halfway through as well. And we still chill with this Reaper for a few moments right now, just hanging about as we have Emilio. Thank you so much for the 6-month resub on the Prime. Thanks for priming us up today. Thanks for using us for a sub on the channel. Much appreciated as we have. Yeah, this Reaper really is still just a point of interest for the moment, although I'll be honest, it's not too exciting just yet. Everything is kind of just trickling along, and Lambo, third hatchery is going to finish. He's not doing anything spicy. Yeah, honestly, through and through, this is pretty much as dull as it could be so far. There is not a lot else to say just yet. I think around the 2 Hellions going to move about. And Hellions, the Reaper just going to gather. Overlord going to get chased away. I'm just going to be seeing the Banshee and the Cloak and continue up. Feelings and the Queens continue through. Drones will produce. Group spread is pushing out. And do have the link up on the top. Moving around a little as well. A couple Hellions will play cleanup as we fight for some map control. Percival should be feeling pretty confident. Hellions, holding the map nicely. He should be able to move this third base down and get that in position to start mining fairly soon. He's about to hit saturation on the natural, so an accelerated build through this early game, and we are going to get to the mid game with additional production coming up, engineering base coming through, the Banshee and the Cloaking on the way up as well, so continue to bring all of that up as the Baneling Nest and the Lair and the drones continue to come about. Spore Crawlers continue to produce as well, about halfway done, and the Hellions, the Ripper, turn back around at the front. Thanks for the stream and all you do. Thank you so much for supporting it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for priming. Goes a long way. We'll talk more about that later as the Hellions, the Reaper. Let's just pull back over to the left against Impact. +1/+1 upgrades continue to come about. Just going to see the Marines and the Barracks still coming about. The Hellions and the Reaper coming over as well. We just have ourselves, again, the rest of this coming over for a little bit. So, again, we make some moves. We drop around for a few moments here. Nothing too crazy just yet. The Hellions and the Reaper just going to hit the hatchery for the moment. Where's that Reaper just coming over? Yeah, I'm going to see the Banshee show up though, and they are going to get a couple of drones right off the bat. So we got about 5 workers going down already. And Banshee pulls over. Hellions and the Reaper are going to get away. Let's just point out of that one. Stimpack and the 1/1 upgrades all building by. I think 5 drones is nice though. Percival poking in. Getting some decent damage here on Old Republic. I'm just going to see melee upgrades, the Baneling speed all continuing through. Those drones and the Lings continue to come about. And the Hellions get in position where we're just going to get after a drone or so. It's 9 workers now killed. Sorry, the Banshees made a reappearance, I believe. But this is up to 12 workers killed. So these Hellions absolutely just roasting and toasting so far. Having a great time. Bunch more Lings going down as well. Another Baneling also going down too. The Banshees, sorry, I thought the Banshees had gone. I couldn't see them on the minimap. My eyes are warming up to the screen today, apparently. But this is becoming disastrous. 17 drones down. The only good saving grace kind of thing here for Lambo is that this is not like super early damage. It's not like 18 drones the moment the first Hellions hit the map and they run in. Like, Lambo's pretty well set economically, and like this is more of a hit to his economy than a complete shutdown of his economy. So yeah, it's obviously not great though. Having to replenish 20 workers or close to it could have been a whole bunch of Zerglings, all the economy during that time. It's going to put you in a rough position in the mid-game, and a well-timed attack like this from Percival is already going to be very difficult for Lambo to then deal with. As, again, this one is replays, guys, at the start of the day. We'll have 4 live matches after. All the Percival games today are replays, basically, is the easiest way to say it for you guys. As the Marines still trying to step through, the Zerglings are going to step forward, but Medivacs will be pulling back off to that right side. And they escape back toward the siege tank. And you have the factory coming through, the command center still building for 4th base. I think I like what Percival's doing here. He's just denied a hatchery, took a good efficient trade, kept the majority of his units alive so he can continue to pressure onto the map. It just feels like a good idea. Resetting back and just rebuilding yourself up just feels good in this scenario. Now we're going to get a catch and a kill on a hatchery. And Lambo's just going to say GG right then and there. He's not going to try and press this any further. I said it was a hit to his economy. It was a pretty big hit. I feel like it's a scenario where, like I say, if that damage happens earlier in the game is just over. But because it happened a little bit more kind of... The game was like, maybe we can fight back as Lambo. Clearly, it just wasn't enough. That push came. He was still in the back of just replenishing, replenishing the drones, loses the base. Loses a second time, just says it's not worth trying to do much else here. GG's. What's up, France? Thank you so much for the 89-month resale. Good morning. Thanks for all the content. Thank you so much for 89 freaking months. Crazy business working towards the 100. Appreciate you. All right, let's jump into game number 2 here. It's going to be Lambo Percival on Tourmaline. I just have to run some ads, guys, just to try and build up some ad time at the start of the stream of the day, so apologies. Now we're just going to spam you after one map. We'll get ready to go into this game 2 in a few moments. Looking grim for Lambo. Yeah, I mean, let's hope he can fight back, because, like I say, this group does not exactly end in a good place for him if he loses this series. Then he's fighting for some additional prize money. But I mean, it's something, but it's not exactly the best. You want to be able to be fighting for the chance of playoffs still, right? So, starting 0-3 would be very unfortunate. Not ideal. All right. Jump in a few moments. All right. We will settle into this game number 2, guys. I just want to give it 30 seconds for the ads. And we can kick this off. Alrighty. Cool, let's jump into game number 2, guys. Just want to give it a little bit of ad time. Just to get those out of the way a little bit. They don't overlap too much of the important stuff at the start. And just in case anything exciting does happen on Tourmaline as we head into Percival and Lambo game number 2. In the top right-hand side, we're going to have ourselves the blue Terran player. This is going to be with the 1-0 lead, Percival. A nice, solid, easy kind of grab in that first game. Just Banshee Hellion combining for way too much damage. And a solid follow-up gets the job done. Let's change the Mondays up to the correct logo as well. Yay. Sweet. This is, of course, WardiTV Spring Championship, guys. Part of our 2026 series. Spring Championship. Then we've got the Summer. And then we're going to see what tournaments we do kind of after Summer Championship. I don't know whether to do basically a fall-based event or like an autumn kind of event, or if we're going to do the European League and Korean Royale. I'm a little turned off by the European League and Korean Royale in some ways. I kind of like them in others. I don't know whether to make them slightly smaller events and to kind of have a bigger event. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what we want to do there. So kind of depends how much time we need to fill as well. I know June, July are actually pretty busy months, but after that, if we have a bit more downtime, we might try and run multiple events, but we'd have to make a couple of them smaller. So, yeah, that's all kind of work in progress basically right now. So, yeah. Alrighty, Overlord heading up to the upper right side. Hatch, Gas, and Pool all coming in. A couple of drones are coming up as well, so continue to build that into position just for the moment. Get that started. And, yeah, this Overlord is going to journey to the upper right side to see what exactly is going on. The SCV takes a chance to head down to the bottom left corner. First of all, we'll just go scouting for this for a few moments. Hatch build coming about. Drone still popping. Gonna see the another game, nothing crazy. SCV confirms hatchery first, so you're happy. And you're just gonna pull that SCV back ASAP. There's no more information you really want to grab. If you know it's a hatchery first, you know you're very safe, and anything else can be picked up on by the Reapers, so not much more purpose to go into there. As Lings and a couple of Queens still build out, the Overlord is going to build through. Factory in the command center will build into place also, and the SCV is about halfway done. As we just see that Reaper grenading a couple times over. A couple of Lings get in for some nibbles, and we put some pressure onto this Reaper. Reaper actually gets very low. The drone's pulling as well. We get the kill. Reaper goes down. So the Reaper falls already. I was now just going to have the hatch drone and the Queen continuing to come back about. Alright, so seeing the orbital still building by, that link speed coming up as on the spawning pool. We will have a couple of Zerglings heading toward the upper right-hand side at the moment. It's just going to bring that over towards the top. Again, in towards the upper side, in toward that natural for a few moments. Hatchery is over halfway done, but it's a forward hatch, so kind of opens some of the aggressive doors for Lambo here to maybe kind of take the chance to, like I say, be a bit more aggressive, a bit more feisty on the map. It also means the Terran's going to push up to this position very quickly. If you do successfully hold this position, though, as the Zerg player, I do feel like expanding out to the left and the right for the 4th, 5th base becomes pretty natural and very easy to do because you're expanding away from the Terran. That's something you don't typically get to do for those later game bases. So you're kind of giving yourself a little bit of a tougher time early. We'll see what Lambo does about trying to, hold that spot and just see how well of a job, or how good of a job he's able to make of it here. Global Queen's coming about, the Hellion taking some shots. Queen at the front, just going to push that Hellion away as well. 2 more Hellions gather. It's going to be 4 Hellions in total. Going to turn back around to the front as a couple Queens are going to sit here. Link speed is going to kick in a few moments. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And speedy Lings on the map obviously makes you feel a lot better about having a defense. Potential to grab these Hellions, maybe even potential to counterattack, although Percival... Actually, I thought he was being safe. I thought he had a couple Hellions on the ramp. There are actually a couple Marines, so actually he does not have a lot at home. He only built these 4 Hellions, so a little Link counter would actually be really nice here. Lambo doesn't know that. That would be a bit of a gamble on his side, and he's just playing straight towards the lag. He's playing off a fairly low Link count. Only 8 Lings means that, in this case, like, yes, he didn't build a lot of Hellions as Percival. Lambo has also not built a lot of Lings. If he built like 20 Lings to deal with the Hellions, and then they don't do anything, then you feel a lot worse about this. Instead, Lambo's defending well. He's not going to have a lot of Hellions to really do too much pressure. As long as we don't let these 4 slip in and get like 5 to 10 drone kills, we're absolutely fine with this game right now as the Baneling Nest comes in from Lambo. The lair will start, the drones additionally on the way through, a few additional Lings and the Overlord still producing, and that stim pack is about to complete. As the few Marines and the Medivacs will continue to produce as well from Percival here, so again we bring that into place. The Hellions back around on that right side. Hatchery is about halfway done already over on the left, so he's going to get that 4th base up and running. And there's the double Evo chamber as well, so just build into the lair so we can guarantee ourselves Bane speed, get that Bane speed going, get the upgrades after. With high ground vision available from the Medivacs, we knock down an Overlord. And Lambo, he's actually looking pretty good on the macro side of things. He's got additional Overlords building, the Queens, the Lings, and the Evo chamber still building up. Just have the Medivacs heading over to the far left side for a couple moments now. So they're going to make their way over there. The Zerglings are going to run out over to the right. A few Marines unloading. Just going to go jump on top of this Overlord as well. So that Overlord taken out already. Zerglings are going to run in. Marines, SCVs, a couple of Mules are going down. Just going to be seeing the Queens are going to get pushed back a little bit. Marine Hellion able to come in and shove that away. The other couple Links showing up. Just going to grab around a couple of these SCVs. I mean, the run by is great. Distractions, disruption. These things are always just very good. Is that the other side, this double drop is probably not doing enough. There's a few Marines left. We've got some transfusions remaining. 1 medevac remained, but it just lifted up and left, so we're good. And we killed 15 SCVs on the other side, so Lambo gets a lot of damage done. Now he is going to be, behind in certain regards. It's going to be behind on the upgrades. His basically just going to be behind on the upgrades. Well, I guess this is okay. I was just thinking, I mean, did Lambo lose too much of note there? He's still on 8 Queens. The Link count's still comfortable. No, this is just straight up good for him. Worker lead, like I say, behind on the upgrades, but otherwise has Baneling speed. That's going to help you a lot. And now he feels free to detect straight through to the infestation pit. As he actually takes a macro hatch in the center rather than trying to extend. Okay, he's going to take the 5th hatch as well. So he's going to double hatch to get some more lava in this Ling heavy style. Especially because it now seems like he's going to stick on Lings and purely Lings as the majority of his army for a bit. The infestation pit obviously opens maybe 2 or 3 infestors into the play, but most likely this is a time to get into the hive quickly, get into the Ultra Cavern early, and just rush up to Ultras. Because when you've done damage like this so far, you probably do have a bit more freedom to kind of make that rush happen and get that tech up going. And if you get to Ultras, it's going to be very hard for the Terran play to match you at those Ultras. You're not wanting to build Marauders right now. They're super expensive. You just took a bunch of worker damage. You're not exactly going to be rushing up to Ghost because, you're afraid that Lambo... The thing about what Lambo is doing is also because if he just goes for like a Ling Bane surge, there is like this scare factor. So you can't just skip to like an anti-Ultra army, because if Lambo sees you being too greedy, he can also just swarm with Ling Bane and actually have a very effective time fighting as well. So you've got to kind of cover all your bases, Percival, and that's what's going to make this difficult, which is why I think Lambo can get up to the Ultras with pretty much no issue at all over these next few moments. Marines unloading from the medevacs. The Overlord hanging out on the bottom side. A couple creep teamers spreading out as well. The rest of this Ling Bane coming across. The infestation pit has been activated, and the first infestors are already out and about as well. Just have the Marines, the medevacs coming back around. Bane crashes through bottom side. This drop comes in. Like I say, the main thing I'll take away from a lot of this is that obviously Lambo now has just the 5-base setup, and it's going to be pretty well held too. So, you know, Percival has to fight forward for 4th, which, to be fair, this 4th base is not impossible to take here on Tourmaline, right? This forward 4th base, the Terran gets middle of the map control, you get to hold that out, which is really nice. We'll continue through for a few moments. Let's see, Marine stemming. Couple of creep teamers being grabbed. Again, 2-2 upgrades coming up. Melee upgrades building. Adrenal glands also. Ultra Cavern is just going to be finishing in a few seconds as we have the Lion Burrows. Just going to be seeing the Unburrow, Reburrow. We just reset things a little bit. The Marines are going to pull back around. A couple of Liberators will set up. Just going to see the Widowmine shot going through. Just going to see the couple Lings getting blasted. On the top side, the Ling Bane is just going to be coming around as well. The Marines are going to gather through. Just going to see the fungal growth dropping down. Those Banes are going to smash in for the rest of these as well. Continue to chase this in. Fester going to drop the fungal down. And the Ling Bane is going to run through this. The SCVs are going to get caught. Planetary Fortresses just going to get pushed out of here. And that is going to keep Percival alive. So Lambo is going to be staying steady. Overseas and the Queen still gathering up. Again, the Marine Marauder, Widowmines, Medevacs coming through as well. Extra CCs on the way. And again, the Spire is continuing to produce for the moment. Actually do some healing. We sim up again. The fight from Lambo opens the door for Percival. I feel like his supply going to be feeling a lot better now as these Widowmines connect through. Get quite a lot of drones. And the Ultra's out. I mean, we're still going to be in a pretty rough spot for Percival in terms of dealing with the Ultras. Only 5 Marauders. 4 Libs are nice. But we're using some of these Libs aggressively as well. So it's going to be less Liberators back on the other side to play defense against the Ultras too. Bio swings into the top left side looking for this hatchery. Looking to get that grabbed. The Lings are going to come running straight forwards, and those Marines are going to get surrounded. The rest of those Lings continue through for a couple of moments. This hatchery does indeed drop, and the Medevacs escaping back out around at the top side. Just going to see the couple of Libs coming about. And again, 3-3 upgrades coming into place. Just having our Queens dropping the group spread for a few more moments as well. Marine Marauder, Widowmine all building up. A couple of Ordals coming through. The few Marines are going to step across. Maybe a bunch more Lings back on the left. And again, a couple of Ultras spreading out with those Zerglings. Queens will gather. And yeah, 3-3 continue to produce through as well. The rest of the Lings heading right back down the bottom. I'm a little scared for Lambo because Percival's now sent up to 5 bases. Does Lambo, maybe as you get to 5 bases, there may be more openings to attack into, but it's going to be tough because you're constantly looking to attack into the Terran. And Lambo does not have a ton of minerals kind of banked up either. He's really been just spending his money as he goes so far. Now the Lings run through. Fungal Growth grabs a couple of those Medevacs. Corruptor's just going to be there. Medevacs going to get chased. One Medevac down. The other pulls away. 3 upgrades still producing through. Again, vehicle plating coming about. The Ghosts, Marines, the Medevacs, the Mines. A little bits of everything all being added on. A couple of Libs just going to siege up across the front of this planetary location. Just looking to defend this. Here's the Bio 4 steps forward. Widowmine goes off just for a single Zergling so far. The rest of the Lings and the Ultras pulled straight back. Still got the +3 melee. Still got the +3 Carapace coming through. +1 Fly Carapace as well. Lambo, like I say, not taking that full-on offensive, like, I'm just going to rush you kind of mode. He's waiting a little bit. He's got more Corruptors building through, and like I say, he's given himself some time for his bank to build, but Percival's bank will build also. Because Percival also sits at 82 workers in this game, while Lambo sits at the 85 drones. First of all, there's no way that 6 base can come up. And that said, I do think we need to deny one of these bases. I don't think letting the Terran just sit freely on the 5 base is going to do it for you long term either. Unless, maybe letting him sit on 5 base is fine if you yourself are going to make a bit of a reset, right? If you're going to sit on 5 base and then you're going to like really kind of maybe trade this army at one time, but then tech up heavily into like Broods or something that can be a bit more efficient than that first single push. Now Broods long term are probably not great, but like on a single push it ain't so bad. Marines down to the bottom, a couple creep teamers being picked away at. Things, the Corruptors continue to come over. Medivac's being hunted. So you can see the first one going down, and yeah, it's actually going to be a nice catch. Lambo getting some free units. We're just going to replace those Marines and Medivacs with Ghosts, though, and Mines. Okay, the Medivacs are going to replace, but it's actually still an upgrade on the army composition as a few Lings try and trail in. Just going to go after some of these turrets, and so obviously Percival is pretty entrenched here on Tourmaline at the moment, so pretty well set for now. A couple of those Liberators will siege up once again. Bane Corruptor continue to come about for just a little bit. Bio stepping back through. Commandant's going to move over. Widow Mine Shot goes off onto a Zergling as well. And again, plus one fire attack still building. The Overlord and the Lings continue to come by. Banes is going to run through. Just going to see Lings run on either side. The Ghosts are going to lift up into the Medivacs and peel away. Just going to see a couple of these Ghosts getting grabbed. The SCVs also. Soldiers are still diving through. The Bane's looking for those Ghosts. I mean, anytime you've got Bane chasing Ghosts and there's nothing to stop the Banelings, it's going to feel pretty good. As we are going to see, at least this right side base is going to get ripped apart. Funny, because obviously you expect so much kind of the middle and the upper left base to kind of maybe be the targets, but coming from this right side, we're going to get this, actually going to kill the Orbital as well, because the Cryptos had that on lockdown. There's a couple of Ghosts stepping forward, just kind of auto-attacking. Lambo needs to decide what he wants to rebuild. He's got the lava, right? He's got 15 lava, so he's just deciding what to build, as this was a very successful starting point for him in terms of breaking down this Terran economy and breaking this position into something that is very workable for him long term. West Percival's army just spread a little bit as well, right? Like, you know, a lot of supply was in these Ghosts that were pulling away. We've got, you know, Libs and tanks and mines heavily set up over here. I mean, you just look here and this is 4 mines, 2 Libs, a siege tank. You know, this screen here that had nothing to do with anything is like a good chunk of supply as well. Obviously, a fight like that gives Lambo control to maintain, you know, basically the mining over the top left and bottom right bases. Being Corruptor, Ultra, gathering about once more. The Changelings just wandering their way in. Just going to be seeing this army diving through. The Marines they have to pull back. Those Banes still coming across as well. Ultra going to get here. That siege tank getting caught. And the Ultra still chasing through now, turning onto a few more of these SCVs. Trying to hard chase on the Ghost, which I don't hate. I mean, actually chasing the Ghost down is pretty effective. You can kill them. We don't really kill them, though. We don't lose too much in the process. We are going to see one more Ultra going down. Killed another 17 SCVs. Denied this base again. That's exactly what you want to be seeing as Lambo. Now just keeping this base down, stopping this base from being a mining. I mean, like I say, it's kind of interesting because this base is maybe not the most notable base that's left in this game. You know, you can see there's only a few mineral patches left. There's what, like 1,500 minerals? Obviously, building the base here again is fine because you're going to be able to make it an orbital and just mule with it. So it's not like a wasted commitment. It's not, you know, if this was like a Nexus as a Protoss player or something, or a Hatchery, might have torques depending on how much gas was left. I mean, there's quite a lot of gas left, so it's definitely worth having. But yeah, in a different game, in a different state, maybe it would be a discussion. But it does mean that the healthier bases are still remaining mining, and that means that Percival still has a good amount of income through this, despite losing SCVs, despite losing that base location a couple times over. That is kind of an interesting aspect of this right now as the bio steps through. It's going to see the Bane settling down, the Corruptors are going to gather, a couple of Widow Mine shots. They're going to get going as well. The Bane's going to run straight through here. The SCV's getting pulled away. So as Banes come about, just going to be seeing the Bane still chasing. 10 SCVs going down. The Corruptor's going to go chasing the Orbital as well. Banelings are going to connect through and able to get a bunch more of the SCVs. In the top left, a few Marines and the medevac just going to be working their way through the hatchery. And again, a few drones pulling away also as a bit of bio and ghost settle into the middle. But now, 4 more ultras, the infestor, the +2 flyer carapace coming up, the rest of the Ling Bane ultra coming by as well. You see the fungal dropping, again getting a bunch of bio going down, a couple of medevacs getting caught. The Liberators are just going to be grabbing as well. The Corrupt is going to fly through. Just going to get diving in. Wondermine's going to burrow up. They're just going to fire onto the Overseers. This is a scrap from Percival, which has just not got a lot left behind it. Lambo's used most of his resources, like I say. He's always got a lot of income, 84 drones still working across all these bases. So Lambo is going to have continued money coming in. As the bio and the ghosts settle back around, just going to see the couple of Wondermines are stepping through as well. See those ultras are going to dive in. The Lings as well. Another Wondermine gets burrowed. The ultras will go chomp chomp and we'll play cleanup as a couple of ghosts get sniping onto these ultras also. Bunch of the ghosts doing some damage, but again, at the end of the day, Percival just doesn't quite have enough. It was a good run back. That one fight in the mid game that kind of brought him back into it after Lambo's early game was very solid and put him into a great position. But not enough in the end. GG's. We're going to go to game 3 on Winter Madness. Now, guys, I just need a moment to message some players some things. Again, this first use of the day is from replays. But we will be going into some live matches later on. But we have just heard that Lambo's internet is currently out. So I'm just going to message a couple people just in case we need to get something on standby to go instead. So, yeah. Alright, yeah, let's let me message players for a second here, guys. Message queue. Cool. Alright, send a couple of messages out, just trying to make sure that we can get into another match straight after this if Lambo does have internet issues still and sort that out. So today is going to be one of those days where we juggle all the matches around. It's all good. Send a couple of messages, that's all I can really do for now at least. Alright, we got everybody. Send some messages. Still 1-0. Nope, it's 1-1. Cool. 1-1 tied up. Game 3 coming through here on Winter Madness. Deciding map. Let's see if Lambo, I mean, this is going to turn into the tournament for hell from here. If he loses this, he's 0-3, then he has internet issues. The whole thing's going to be kind of brutal. As we have got into the top left-hand side, the blue Zerg player. This is going to be Lambo. And in the bottom right, our red Terran will be Percival. Alright, game 3 of this. Let me get this set up. And get this one underway. Let's see what happens on Winter Madness for a couple of moments, guys. Let me just reply to a couple people with regards to tournament. Magic is cool coming through. Drone coming about. Rax and the SCV coming online. The Reaper will build. And we have ourselves an SCV coming onto the map here for a few moments. So we get that going. Reaper in the orbital coming up for a little bit initially. As we head down the bottom, again, a couple queens and the drones coming about, the overlord on the way through. Add a hatchery into the mix, couple CCs building. That's where we settle for now as this Reaper runs by. Into this mineral line, trying to see what we can do. A couple of drones getting bopped about for a few moments. Maybe I'll have some Marines in the rack still coming through. What's up, Wazak? How you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the 91-month resub on the Prime. Crazy. Thank you so much for 91. Hope you're doing well. See you. That's our Reaper. Hops back around. A few drones coming about. That Roach drone will build. A couple of barracks are coming through. The commands that are being added. Third hatchery is already coming into position. Gonna see where we can go from here. This overlord heading down the right side too. Never hops up. I'll see the couple of Marines gonna get underneath this overlord. Take that one out, and we'll just have again. Well, a couple of drones, the Overlord, the Evo Chamber continue to build for a few moments. Combat Shield and the Stim Pack coming through as well. Extra Marines coming about, again, Combat Shield and the Stim keep building through. Now this Reaper going to be here, a couple of Queens stepping forward, trying to see what exactly we can get into for the next few moments. So we set that up, get that on the go, try to see what's happening. 126 months, that is more than 5 years of continuous subscription. You are so right, Austin. Thank you so much for 126 months. It's a big one. Can't believe it's been so long. You would have guessed. That's all that comes up. Alright, that coming about. And it's going. What's up, Ruffalopolis? 27-month resub on the Prime as well. All the subs. We're just moving out. Marines and the Reaper. I'm going to be moving over. Against Impact Combat Shield. Extra Marines and so coming through. Just going to see the Marines are going to get another Creep Tumor kill off to the side. And the Roaches. The Roach Speed and the Carapace. Again, a little bit of everything coming in for the next few moments. And the Marines will gather up. It's going to be seeing the pull back into the center for a few moments. Just going to have ourselves the Marines and the Reaper gathering. Just going to see a Creep Tumor being picked off for a little bit here. Just going to get that sorted. And again, Reaper Marines back around to the left. Just going to see the few Roaches coming through and the other couple of Roaches coming by. Roach Speed, Carapace, continue to settle. The extra Roaches reducing. As well as keeping position on the map for a little while. We'll see a good amount of Roaches available right here. You're going to see them now looking to threaten across the other side. If these Marines stay over here and don't do anything because they're afraid of the Roaches still, but the Roaches are actually across the map. I mean, no matter what here, Lambo will take some damage from these Marines. He's got a lot more Roaches building. Okay, I think this is one of the better times to go, basically, as Percival, because at least now he's going to be here before the Roaches that reinforce gather up. Oh, Lambo's pulling back. Oh, interesting. I mean, if this only gets you roaches and not many drones, which we didn't get many drones at all just yet. We didn't get a couple in the main base. Oh, this was not worth it at all for Percival. That was 2 workers and a handful of roaches for pretty much the majority of your Marine army so far in this game. And now on the other side, we just got ourselves a couple of medevacs going to reposition, and this is going to be... Oh, this is going to be very, very bad for Percival. Lambo is going to push forward. He's got this essentially +1 carapace roach time and only 55 drones in the game from him. And Percival just gave up a ton of his army to achieve almost nothing. 1-1 upgrades are very nearly done. He's got a tank high ground, but I just don't think that even matters here. Because the Roach Ravage can actually avoid this tank. We don't actually have to fight the third because there's so little from Percival. We can attack into the natural maybe even. High ground vision so we can Corrosive Bile the one tank that's here. There's just not enough support. We probably should have pulled SCVs in from the third as well. Because you pretty much have to defend this as Percival, so you may as well put everything into defending it. No, Lambo is... Percival just didn't do enough across the map, I don't think. If Lambo lost like 15 drones to that maybe, then perhaps that would have been kind of crazy. As we just move up Corrosive Biles, we're just going to get that attack. Going to be killed. That's just not enough. Lambo obviously at this point just reinforces. Pulls back, wait for some reinforcements, gather together. Can maybe go all at once as we see the Roach Ravager trying to come back through. But the Roach is coming through, the SCVs are still dropping down, the Bioforce still gathering. And there we have 39, 40 workers killed. At this current point, Roach Ravager will keep fighting the extra Roaches coming across. Man, what an absolutely crazy, crazy game. But good for Lambo, he's going to get a match win here. It's going to be big for him. We'll just keep pushing through, continue to come by. GG gets called, and Lambo takes it 2-1. Alrighty, guys. So Lambo's going to take that one 2-1. So the current situation is Lambo has no internet. So let's go into Shin versus Kua. I'm just going to communicate this to people. Let's go to a break screen, guys. I've got a bit of lunch tea, but also let me type to some people without having to try and talk to you guys at the same time. So let's cut the multicasting down. We'll come back, and I'll be back with you guys in just a few. Alrighty, guys. Hello, hello. I'm just gonna double check everyone's ready, and we can go into this. What's gonna happen is Lambo just doesn't have internet. His internet is down. It went out like so. He actually messaged me like 2 hours ago. He's asking if we could do the swap of matches, which was fine. So, yeah, I think that's first of all head in game. But yeah, what's gonna happen is that basically we're gonna do Q Shin now instead. This should have been Shin Lambo, and then once we do Q Shin, we're probably just gonna go straight into Q Zoun. Then we'll do the other Percival games that are replays. Presuming that Lambo's internet is not coming back because he's been on the phone to the internet guys, and their response is that it's no worries, they'll fix it.
Game paused.
But it might take 24 to 48 hours, which I feel like is a very typical response. So maybe it comes back and we can change things. For the current plan going forward is just Q versus Shin, Q versus Zoun, and then the Percival matches after that. So yeah, and from our point of view, guys, so from our point of view as well, we have moved tomorrow's Spring Championship matches to next week. So if Lambo just plays with Q and Shin over the weekend at some point at their own schedule, we can cast those replays when we wrap up Group B on Tuesday next week. And it doesn't really impact our making of the playoff bracket or anything because we're not going to be able to make the playoff bracket until Tuesday anyway. So as far as I see it, we don't have to forfeit or disqualify anyone here or anything like this. That's just an unfortunate timing. So we'll just move through the majority of the matches in Group A today. We'll let Lambo play over the weekend or as the players are happy to. And then we can obviously wrap it all up on Tuesday, hopefully even cast and everything still as well. Alright, looks like we're good. We'll get back into this TVZ and get into it today, guys. Alright. What kind of hotkey problem can be 3 minutes? Maybe if you loaded on the wrong profile or so and you've got like 2 to 3 hotkeys, or you just need to double check. Like maybe if one's wrong, then you need to double check the others. It can maybe take a moment or two. As here, matches will most likely be played and counted. Yeah, like I said, I don't see any reason for us not to. Like, if this was next week's group, like, say we're, like, doing these games today and it's, like, playoffs are starting tomorrow, it puts us into a bit of a weirder situation. But we have the time frame to make it work, so we don't need to, like I say, disqualify anyone or anything like that, I would say. So, like I say, if we can avoid, you know, it might mean less matches for us today, but if we still get to cast the matches next week and get some extra games in still, then that's fine in my eyes. So I'm happy with this process at the moment. Reapers will gather in and get settled here. Hatch gas pool. Coming about, drone on the way through as well. Sorry, let me just type one more, guys. Alright, we're gonna fight against the Zergling for a few moments. As you are gonna see a couple of Reapers harassing, so there's a multi-racks Reaper opening at the front. We do see Link Speed coming through. As we're all just going to be seeing the SCV in the factory coming about. And we are going to have ourselves the hatch again halfway. Lings, drones building. That Ling speed coming up as well. It's about halfway right now. You can see the Lings on the high ground going to be there to meet this first Reaper for a few moments. Just going to be able to match that. Turn that back around the other way. Just handle that for a few moments. Again, a couple of Reapers will gather up just for a second or two. And just pulling back over for a couple of moments as well. Just trying to see what else we can maybe have happen. As Reapers join up, again, a couple of Queens are going to move over. Overlords, the hatchery, and the Ling speed will continue to bring it through for a moment or so. Alien Marine, that's Stimpet coming through. Again, the feelings are going to gather up. Queen and the drones will be there as well. These things are going to step forward. We are going to be seeing the counterattack, not going to do much, although maybe. I was going to say, if we cancel stone, that'd be kind of nice, but there's a Helly in there as well, so not going to be able to do too much for the moment. Starport's watch over. It's going to move to the tech lab. Factory going to drop nearby. We're going to see a Banshee. Triple CC here from Cure. Not surprising, the Banshee. Not surprised neither. It is TVZ. Hellion Banshee has been a TVZ thing for a long, long time, and it probably forever will be. They would have to make some pretty core changes. I'm trying to think of what changes you would have to make to Hellions and Banshees to make it not a reasonable... To make it like not a reasonable thing to open within TVZ. I'm just trying to think like what do you change? What would have to actually change in the game? Hellion Banshee's been a thing since like so long ago. You'd have to make Banshees like you'd have to like decrease Banshee damage on workers or something, you know? Deadly Donkey Kitten with the combo raid into the 20-month resub. Let's go. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, mate. Hope you had a good stream. Thank you so much for raiding us, and thank you so much for resubscribing. Hellions should be able to go up cliffs. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine how upset everyone would be about this? I mean, they can. You just have to make a medevac for them, right? Right. It's just an extra step. Instead of these useless Banshees making medevac, bam, Hellions have all the cliff reversal they need. Banshee gets in. A couple of drones have died so far. This is very fine for Shin. A couple of drones are kind of expected. You can't realistically defend every position perfectly from a Banshee. They're going to slip in somewhere. 1 or 2 drones is very different to losing like 5+ drones, right? Like, you need to be close enough with your defense to rearrange and you're good. But you need to, you know, like I say, it's never going to be perfectly everything in position. Like, a couple here, but the Queens are nearby to step up. This is fine as well, right? Hey, what's up, Matt Killy? Yeah, thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime. Cloaked Hellions. No, I don't know why we're trying to improve the Hellion Banshee, guys. I'm saying, how much worse do you have to make it for it to not be a thing? Banshee going to be there. Ling moving around. The few Marines are going to gather from the medevacs. You can see the Banshee coming up for a couple moments. One coming up. I'm just going to be seeing the Marines are going to be there. A little bit of the Ling Bang going to be nearby. Vestige pick coming through. The extra drones, the Lings, the OVs coming about also. It's going to load back into our medevacs. Ling Bane stepping over. Again, melee upgrade coming through, plus 2 carapace is going to be there. Even the few additional Lings coming over as well. Factoring the depots coming up, CC's coming in. Just going to see how 1-1 upgrades will be wrapping on those engineering bases in a moment. The Marine's going to look back into the medevacs and we step away from this for a few moments. Let's see what else is going on. Marine tank going to move through. Melee upgrade coming up as well. I'm just going to scan about. Ling Bang coming through. Plus 2 melee, plus 2 carapace all building. Got that Hydro Den still coming up. The rest of the Ling Bang gathering back around. The tanks going to reposition as well. We're just going to be seeing those tanks get sieging. The few Marines going to take a little stint forward. We've got the Ling Bang going down. The rest of the Ling Bang coming through as well. Tanks going to start firing up. The Lings taking a bunch of damage here. The Bane's going to crash through onto this. How are we going to continue with this? Actually, we're just going to be seeing the rest of the Ling Bang still crashing on through. Few more Banes go down. Nice position from Kua. Man, that tank found so many little groups of Banelings. That was pretty crazy. That was really wild. Queen step up. A couple of Crypt Teamers still going down. The Queen's being chased. The other Baneling's going to get grabbed as well here. Nice target fire. So we're just not letting those Banes up. Shin doesn't have enough. It was a really good fight for Kua, to be fair. And it's very visible right now as you see the rest of the Lings showing up also. Just going to be having the Banshee still firing. The other Lings running through. The Marines going to hold out. A couple extra Banelings going down, and that is pretty much going to be that. There's a Hydra still stepping through as well. Hatchery falls. Kua just has 140 supply to Shin's 104. And this is going to be, I think, enough for Kua to take a 1-0 lead. Kua and Shin, always a storied history in WardiTV events. You guys are probably sick of me saying it, but you go back to the WardiTV 2020 Championship Finals, and that was a Shin-Kua matchup that Shin 4-0'd Kua in when Kua was the absolute guy to beat in online tournaments back then. So yeah, it was pretty crazy business. It was pretty wild. As we now get ready to load onto Old Republic for map 2. But yeah, I always, like, for me, Shin and Kua always goes back to that, because to me that was such a surprising result at that time, because like I said, Kua was the guy to beat, and Shin was the only guy that beat him in that tournament, but a 4-0 in the final especially was like a what did we just see sort of move. It's really, really sick. So yeah, Shin and Kua, like I say, always storied in WardiTV events. Kua gets the better of him to start the day. I think that's been kind of true lately, just in general, like Kua's been getting the better of Shin. Let me do some searching. Kua 2-1. Shin actually, wow, Shin had a bit of a run against him. 2-0, 2-0 in the WardiTV Spring Cup, and 3-2 in the TLMC as well. Okay, so Shin's actually had the better Kua a lot lately. Overall this year, they're very back and forth, actually. So maybe even the most even that they've been, because, oh, actually kind of wild. You look all the way back, Kua's only 54-46 in series against Shin, which I actually thought would have been a little bit more shifted towards Kua's favor, so good competition for each other as we load into game 2 here. Kua having the 1-0 lead in the near future. Alright, let's go. There's a couple drones pop up into production and get this on the go. In the bottom left side, our blue Zerg is going to be Shin. In the top right, our red Terran is going to be Kua. And for some reason I put Shin as a 1-0 favor. Obviously that's not true. Lambo Percival, he won. Lambo won 2-1. Don't you guys think the SC2 community should put a poll or something to vote out the new patch before it destroys the game? I mean, if enough people don't like the new patch, it'll probably just not go through. That's what the PTR is for. You know, like if it's just bad, then we can just see that's bad, you know. Alright, Kyoshin coming about. Just on the Rex cam for a couple moments. Hoping they update the PTR soon and iterate on it. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's... I'm kind of... Okay, I'm happy that the PTR has actually been up so long. One of my main concerns that it was going to be rushed out already by now. Like, we're already coming up to the PTR being live as much as it was live in full for the last 2 patches or something. So, I'm actually very happy about that. But, yeah, I feel like it's... There's no way it doesn't get iterated on, and I feel like there's some things they could have iterated on after a week, but, yeah. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens. I get the feel... I really get the feeling that 8 worker start's gonna stick, which I think's really sad, but... Yeah. Work account's a great idea. It's an easy way to shake up the meta. It will not change the meta at all. The meta of the game is going to settle pretty much into what it is right now. The 8 worker star is not going to change that in the slightest. I've watched so many patch games at this point, and I'm still yet to be convinced that this 8 worker start does anything. Yeah. I kind of wish we could just have the 12 worker start, if nothing else, just so we could actually test all the other changes within reason to what we already know. Like, the 8 worker start is... I mean, I don't really think, like I say, it makes much of a difference, but it would be interesting because I feel like a lot of people like the PTR is awesome because of the 8 workers, but it's not really the workers that's changing anything. But... alas. I actually think the worker start's going to go through no matter what, because I think it's just an easy thing to just shove in. And a lot of people seem to like it, for whatever reason. You know, whether that's because you think it does change it up, because you think it slows the game down in a good way, or whatever. A lot of people like it, so I think the 8 worker start stays in. I don't think there's enough opposition to get it removed. Depends who they listen to. But all the pros and stuff said that the 8 worker start wasn't good before we even tried it on the PTR, and they still tried it, so, yeah. I disagree. The option for other early aggressive builds means players have to adjust their builds to account for it. There's yet to be any good aggressive builds on the 8 worker start that happens only because of an 8 worker start. Like, these aggressive builds don't exist. Not in a way that you have to change your build up significantly to deal with. That's going to change the meta. From what I've seen, at least, like I say, maybe given some more time, but I'm still not a believer, sadly. So, doesn't it slow down the early game? It delays the early game. I actually. Personally, what I don't like more than anything as well is actually maybe the is actually increasing the minerals on the bases. Because I outside of everything else, I think increasing the minerals on the bases takes away one of the most fun parts of StarCraft, which is actually stepping out to other bases and extending positions on the map. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of games that are just very slow until you take that extra base. Like, how often nowadays do you see people posturing but not committing into 3 bases because attacking into 3 bases is silly? But when your opponent has to then take a 4th base, that opens up the game to be able to, you know, be more engageable. And that's kind of how maps are designed right now as well. You know, a lot of the maps give you 3 bases pretty easily. But then the, yeah, but then, they give you 3 bases pretty easily, but, like, once you take a 4th base, that's when the game kicks off into this kind of later mid-game kind of exciting kind of duel of these armies you've been building up. So I actually think one of the things I don't like is the economy changes in that regard, because I actually really think it's just going to let people sit back on the more boring phase of the game there for longer as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's not a crazy change. It's not like the bases are going back to what they were in the past, like pre-Legacy. So it's not terrible. It's just an adjustment. Maybe it's fine. It's one of those things that's very hard to see exactly over a short amount of games, basically. Oh. Len's going to run through. A couple Hellions in the Cyclone's going to show up. Len's going to get chased away for a couple moments already. Again, +2 vehicle weapons and plating coming up. Infernal Pre-Igniter on the way through. Adding ourselves the smart servers on as well. Curious how this will impact map makers. I don't think it should impact... I mean, maybe you can make third bases more risky again. The problem is we're not going to get maps to reflect the changes until, like, maybe a year after the changes happen. Or 8 months or something. Because the next set of maps are going to be based on the current TLMC maps, which are going to come through at the same time as the patch. So then we're not going to see... Then you'd have to change map design, so there's going to be a long period where we have these maps with the base change. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Maybe they'll keep slowing down SC2 as the player base ages. I just don't think it slows down the game, though. It just extends parts of the game, though. It doesn't slow down the game. You still get to the point of the game where you need to do all of the things that you're doing right now. It just takes you another minute or two to get there. I mean, maybe you could say it slows down the game and not needing to take another base as soon. But I mean, even when you do have to take a base, eventually you get to that exciting part where then you have to try and defend it. It still is a thing, right? Unless maybe you're more capable of just taking one base at a time now. Hellion Cyclones moving around. So again, this is an interesting game because we've got ourselves mech against a group of mutas, and melee upgrades still coming through from Shin, which I'm kind of surprised by. He knows this is mech, right? He's seen enough to know that this is a mech setup right now and has done for a while. We're 9 minutes deep. We've got double armor upgrades we've just finished. Shin's going to try and get Neural Parasite. Would Let's go see the Cyclone's going to step up. I was going to say, I don't think he's got time to actually really get going here with the Neural Parasite. Is Shin just dead? Is Kira just going to roll over him? Bane's going to crash through. Hellbats and the Cyclones all getting caught. Just going to see the Mutas showing up on the left-hand side. Hellbats don't benefit from mech upgrades? No, they should do, no? Why would Hellbats have attacks as well, no? And armor. I can't believe Kyo just got stomped here, actually. This is, this fight was not how I expected it to go in the slightest. Wow. Shin pushes him back, and now he's actually going to get a chance to get to Neural Parasite, Vipers, and all these things that are going to be much more useful for him. Kyo's just going to replenish the Hellion Cyclone army. Yeah, Hellbats use mech upgrades, they're just also bio, yeah. If that's what you're confused on, they get healed by Medivacs, but they use mech upgrades. They are like a Hellion. Well, they're not. The Hellions aren't biological until you become a Hellbat, but they still use the mech upgrades. They don't just suddenly use bio upgrades when you morph them into a Hellbat. I thought you were saying. I thought the question was more. Yeah, maybe that makes more sense. For some reason, I took it as a like Cyclones don't benefit from mech weapon upgrades when they're locking on, right? Whereas they do benefit if they're just attacking, but their lock-ons are set damage. For example, I thought it was like one of those scenarios that you were asking about, but no, Hellbats have a normal attack. We're just going to be seeing those Lings are going to move up. A couple of Hellions and the Cyclones going to hold out. I mean, these were a couple of better trades. These Banes are going to get through. A few SCVs. Good split from Kira to try and minimize things here. Actually gets 9 in the end. Good split on the final Banelings to make the most out of them. Not bad at all. The rest of those Cyclones going to come moving along. Get up to the top. A couple of Lings going to be moving through. Three vehicle weapons and plating coming up. The Cyclones and the Hellions are still building by. Bane, Roach moving to the top. For a few moments, just going to be seeing the planetary fortress on this right side. And they get jumped on a little bit. The Roach, Bane, Ravager coming back to the left. A couple of those Hellbats getting grabbed straight away. We're seeing these Cyclones getting smashed around a little bit. A few Roaches are getting feisty. The Lings and the Roaches are going to step forward as well. Let's continue to try and get it over there as the Cyclones lock in for a few more moments. The left-hand side, we got the Roaches coming about too. Just more SCVs going down from Cure. However, it's going to be expensive for Shin, especially as the Cyclones play cleanup. And Shin is actually taking some damage himself. A Hellion run by to the other side of the map. We'll see a handful of workers going down. And +3 melee, +2 carapace, all of that building up. The Hellions get surrounded here again. The Lings get there to play cleanup on this. As the +3 vehicle plating continues to come through. The additional Cyclones coming about. Roaches going to morph to Ravagers down the left. Just have those Hellions going to get the Ravager, going to take that down, take this out the way already. I mean, that's nice, but well, I like morphing into Hellbats. We'll get a few more Zerglin kills because of it. In fact, going to get quite a lot of Zerglin kills because of the Hellbat morph. Making the most of every single unit. Shin is once again in some supply troubles here, it would seem like. Definitely seeming like he's in a bit of a tough place. Cyclone's going to drop to this bottom right side. Just going to be picking up on this hatchery. So hatchery getting caught. Just going to see that taken down. Just going to see the rest of the Cyclones, the mines, continue to gather up as well. Knock-ons are reasonable, just seeing those Ravagers still getting chased. This drone is going to pop and dive from the hatch. Nothing too much else going on there. Actually got some Neurals down, but only going to catch a couple Cyclones. I mean, Kua, to me, is still in a very good position. His supply is great, considering on a mech army against someone who's essentially just Roach Ling. There's a few spellcasters mixed in. Just missing a couple of Hellions, so Hellbats to actually really shoot down the Lings as quickly. More Cyclones getting Neuraled. I think Q's just fine though. He just sees every one of these trades as okay for him. He's a 5-base Terran against a 5-base Zerg, trading pretty darn well and just continue to trade out. I think he's absolutely fine with overall. As again, maybe a couple more Hellbats just to deal with these Lings that are running through, but overall, we're kind of running back over. Widow Mines are coming off cooldown soon as well, so we're going to get double shots from Widow Mines, which is just very efficient. That's also going to be very good. Roaches trying to step through. A couple of Hellbats and Cyclones still stepping in. A couple of Changelings being picked off also. The other units going about. Just the Ravager's going to come through. Just going to be seeing the rest of this. Again, getting chased away. But Q is happy to just, like I say, trade out, replenish. I mean, he's just taking bases. He's got map control. He's probably going to deny this base. But, if he can keep denying bases while doing what he's doing, he's going to generally just be a very happy Terran player at this point in the game still. So, welcome to that as we come around. Cyclones gather, a few Hellions join up, +1 flyer attack coming through. The rest of the Roach Ravager. Ling going to move around the right-hand side. When the game settles, it gives Shin a chance to max out, but I still don't know if I love Shin's max out. 6 Infest is 1 Viper, and otherwise it's just Ling, Bane, Ravager. Well, some Roaches too, but the thing is that the higher Ling count can be offset by the fact that you just add more Hellbats in, right? You can just adjust the army composition as Q to be in a better position to what your opponent is setting up for. Now we're having a split push as well. Let's watch this right side. It seems the most impactful. Seems like the larger fight. And Shin and Q both end up scrapping here for a little bit. The Hellbats on the left side going to get this hatchery. It's going to be seeing the Cyclones coming through, getting the Queen. So both those are going to go down. The Ravagers again playing cleanup. I'm just going to say GG. He's only 20 supply behind, but realistically, it's just an ongoing battle that he's never really coming back out on top of. So that is going to be GG's. All right, we're going to swap on over to Kua versus Zoun. I'll get this set for a few moments, guys. Alright, just messaging Shin, just confirming that he is done for the day, because Lambo is not getting back in time to play today, so he's all good, he's done. Alright, this is going to be Q vs Zoun, guys, so we'll get some ads going, we'll get Q vs Zoun TVP set up. In terms of the group, obviously, I've been a bit distracted, but obviously that is Q moving up to 3 and 0. Shin drops down at 1 and 2, alongside Lambo, who's also 1 and 2. So Zerg is at the bottom of this group right now. Not great if you're a Zerg fan, looking for Zergs in the playoffs. Shin has Percival left to play, and also Lambo. Obviously, we'll not see the Lambo game with it being delayed, but the Percival versus Shin game is pre-played, so we actually do have that one. So I'm saying Shin's done for the day. He's done playing because we already have the replays of the other ones, so yeah. Cool. Cool. As we take a second, some videos, these guys chatting a little bit, and get this TVP ready to go. So yeah, it's going to be Q versus Zoun, and then we pretty much just head into the Percival matches, guys. That's going to be what we head for. That's what we aim for. Beautiful. Alright, first one going to be Winter. I missed that because they're yapping so much, but they did indeed pick the map. Two wide, 3. 10k. Cool. Move the players around. Should be pretty much just set to go. Perfect. Q looks good today. Q looks good a lot of days, really. Q looks good a lot of the time. That's ready. Let's go into this TVP, my friends. Let's send it as we kick off and get resuming. Again, thanks for joining us. Good to have you all with me. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Get ready to go. In the bottom right side, we're going to start things off. This party begins with the blue Protoss representing on side. This is Zoun. And he is up against Team Liquid's QA. In the top left, our Red Terran. As we get this one up and running for the start of this best of 3. Game 1, best of 3, coming through, get this set up, get this on the way to see what's happening. Is BlizzCon better than EWC? I don't think BlizzCon and EWC are really the same thing. How do you mean? Do you mean in terms of like StarCraft tournaments? BlizzCon this year is going to be a very small, more kind of fun event. It's not really like a Pinnacle World Championship sort of thing or anything like that. so EWC was definitely better in terms of competitive StarCraft. Maybe the Blizzard Cup will be cool, but yeah, I get the feeling it's going to be pretty whatever. If you're into like real competitive, like hardcore Star, like you know the big tournaments and stuff, I don't think BlizzCon's going to be that great this year. I think it'll be fun, but it's not really comparable to EWC. There's only going to be like 4 players there as well. I actually wonder how they're going to choose those 4 players. It'd be interesting. Two active, 2 retired. Is that confirmed? That's 2 active players and 2 retired players. Yeah. I feel like they kept releasing info about that Blizzard Cup and then none of it even really gave us, I guess, the info that we're looking for. You're just pessimistic about Blizzard's competence? Oh. No, I kind of thought it would be active players, but then people started bringing up that could be old players. I was like, oh, actually, it really could be as well. Man. Poor StarCraft. Game's so awesome. Yet so unloved. Imagine we just had like a little bit more semi-competent handling of like some semi-competent handling of the whole thing. Go crazy, wouldn't it? Ah, sad. Sad, sad, sad. What's always going to be there? Deflecting this medevac. I'm just trying to see a little bit of what's going on. A couple of Marines coming about. Just going to be having our starport still continuing by. It's going to be seeing the charge and the observer coming up for a few moments. That starport swapping over to a reactor for a couple of moments. Barracks to the tech lab. Got that underway. That's me seeing the Stalkers coming in. A little bit of damage done. Zoun getting some work. Cure 3-0 in this group. Win this. And then Cure only has Lambo to play and will be 4-0. Primed to maybe take the win in this group and get a good seed into those playoffs. +1 combat shield coming about. Auditor comes in. Couple of probes getting shot at. Medevac flies back over, looking to drop a couple of mines in, drops 1 initially. Just going to be seeing the Stalker going to poke. The other Widow Mine going to stay inside for the moment. We have the Stalker's going to try and get aggressive again. That was the Observer getting caught with the scan. Losing the high ground division, can't do much more with the Stalkers. We have enough here from Cure, just kind of keeps down back. The Cure might even make a bit of a push out onto the map right now as well, so that is seeming possible. As we start to make a little bit of a move forward. Stim combat and +1, all still building up, bringing a lot of that online. I'm just going to see that extended thermal land still coming through. +1 attack. The Stalkers and the Claws coming around. Again, just going to see the Widow Mine drops, burrows, and the booms. Or a couple probes. Tank's going to actually be able to target some of the better units here. They start to target the sentry. The bio has to step away, so Zoun is going to be able to chase Q off of this position. This one attack. Thermal Lance coming through. He's going to see the couple of Zealots going to unload from that prism as well. Going to be coming through the Vikings. Going to get to the prism. Going to make that happen for a little bit. Clouds going by. And it's going to be seeing the... oh, nice catch on the prism at least. Going to be able to kill that off. Raven gets a good catch. That's nice. Vikings pulling back over. Factory going to step to the middle just to get some vision. I was going to say, how far are we going to float it? Because it's kind of a weird place to just put it in the middle because they'll actually just die. Like, float it off to the side of your natural or something, right? And then you can keep an eye out and it can't just get shot down by a group of Stalkers. I think that's where it's going to move back to now instead. It's just going to be stepping over there. Bio, Viking, Medevac gathering up. Just going to see the other Marines coming back over for a couple seconds. And getting +2, +1 coming up also. So we can bring a lot of this into play just for a few moments. A few Marauders and Marines still building by. See those Vikings going to fight. Colossus pulls back. There's a lot of Vikings and the Stalker's not able to get rid of them quickly enough. The Prism gonna go down as well. That means this next Colossus goes down. Not a good fight for Zoun. The Vikings just go completely uncontested. That's absolutely brutal. Zoun just lost all of his tech units. Now he's going to build into the Disruptors on the follow-up, but I'm not sure if that's going to necessarily be good enough here. Widow Mines go down. I mean, so we're going to counterattack. Probably not the bad idea from Zoun. Try and base trade with some Disruptors to get some good shots to weaken this Kua army. That's good enough here. This was a little scary, but it's fine. We lose a few units, but not too much. Still got 30 army supply leaves. This base trade begins then. I mean, Zoun is very proactive in terms of running his units out on the map. Obviously, Zoun can warp in during this as well. I mean, that said, Kira is also still building units. It's not like he's just going to lose his production without a little bit more of a fight happening too. In fact, I don't know if we can even break onto the high ground here as Zoun. Kira's running to the low ground. What the... I guess, I think what's happening is that he's presuming his opponent's just going to recall after killing the natural. In which case, if he just sits on the high ground, he doesn't get the chance to fight with all of the SCVs and to punish the opponent for kind of stepping through and to use those units. So he pushes the fight to the low ground and proactively fights with his SCVs, making sure he gets that opportunity, knowing those SCVs are not likely to be very useful anymore, and the best thing he can do with them is to get a value on a trade. I think it's a very smart call from Cure, because usually a lot of people will just sit on the high ground and just hide. But knowing that his opponent's likely going to recall after killing the two bases, I actually think this is the perfect way to approach it. The Zealots still continue to charge through. We're now going to see the few Stalkers looking to try and make some extra plays. It's just too much army supply from Cure. And that is going to be all they wrote for game one here. Winter Madness goes in Cure's favor for map one of this series. Yo, what's up? Kaio Kankum, how you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the 39-month resub. Our second map here will be White Rabbit. We get that hosted pretty much straight away and get this on the go. Just waiting for Zoun to hop out the replay and we can go, go, go. All right. Pretty ready to set this up. White Rabbit coming through. How are we all doing, guys? Thanks for joining us from the Spring Championship action. Going to be a bit of a cut down day then. Without the Lambo games, we're going to be missing a couple of best of threes. Not really much we can do about that. Just like I say, the way that it's gone. So we'll have a couple of best of threes added on probably to next week's stream instead. So it'll just be 5 best of threes a day. So there's Zoun Q match, and then we've got Percival versus Zoun. Percival versus Shin still to come as well. Alright, game 2. Kicking off, getting on the way. Let's see what Zoun and Q have for us on this one as we get this going. It's going to be finishing through in a few moments. It's going to be seeing the SCV, the Gateway, and the Proby all coming about. Get settled here for a little bit. But coming back around, again, coming up, factory gonna settle. I'm just gonna move. Take a couple options. Just gonna be seeing the store coming back around as well. Take lab on the factory. Continue to set that up. And once you have the double Reapers, obviously going to be a little annoying for a few moments. Nothing too much going on just yet. I see Magfield. Wow, Q is just like meching it today. Meching the TVZ. Oh, not super crazy. Meching the TVP though. It's a little bit crazy. Oh. Yeah, that Cyclone Magfield on the way. Cycle locks on. Dev can take some damage. Stork's coming through as well. Again, Mike Field coming through. Cyclone coming about. And just going to have Observer coming through. Factory's about to finish. Armory still coming up, being about halfway done. We get the couple of mines coming through as well. I'm going to get that Mac field completed. Just going to be seeing the extra units popping. Going to go drilling claws as well. Intrigued to see what Zoun's composition will look like kind of going against this also. Just gotta cross grab the obs. Again, charge Stalkers, the Robo Bay, and the Nexus all coming through. Again, Macfield going to be the upgrade for the Cyclones done, but that drilling claws for the mines going to be intriguing to see how that gets used. Maybe we just start mine dropping into the mid stages of this game, right? You just start going for some mine drops and throw them in again and again. Extra gate's coming about, the next is about to finish. Challenge is going to be about halfway done. The Stalkers will take a chance to get rid of this mine, and the Cyclones pulling back away. And the Cyclones will just gather up. Just going to see our vehicle plane upgrade coming through as well for a little bit. Very passive, obviously, because we're kind of playing mech. I guess we're not wanting to be too aggro here, and a lot of the aggression in TVP usually early comes from kind of Terrans. And then, obviously, the way that Zoun's playing is going to be changed a bit because it's mech as well. Like, these Stalkers are pretty much the next part of the game that gets interesting, but that's about it right now as well.
Paused.
Zoun asks for PP. Mouse. I think he's saying his mouse did something. Get back to it. Cyclones are locking on, so we're just going to be seeing the more Stalkers going down still. Just gathers again. Cyclones, mines gathering up. CC gonna float over. Storm's going about. CC taking damage. And a nice little Cyclone lock-ons chasing away. Two vehicle plane coming about. Hellions just going to be coming through. A couple of probes. Continue to get hit as well. I'm just going to see those Hellions continue to strike. Stalker's going to blink over. Now the Cyclone's going to show up as well. I feel like Zoun's getting bullied around a little bit. Let's see. I feel like the Cyclones, they have locked onto the Nexus. It's probably a little bit too extreme. Again, Widow Mines get borrowed up fast though, and that's going to help the Zoun. And these Cyclones kind of just sit here. There's a lot of mines to work through. Obviously, we do have blink. So you can blink out of those mines, but that still takes a bit of time and a little bit of setting up. Zell's just going to run through for this. The Cyclone's going to try and get away. Locked onto some Stalkers. I love the turnaround. He's going to get multiple Stalkers, man. It's so satisfying watching like Cyclones locked on, getting a bunch of kills in sync with each other. It's always very fun. Skulkers and the Cyclone Colossus still laser beaming. A couple Wooden Mines still taking damage. One more mines coming about, Starport coming through, and +2 vehicle planes still coming around. The Zalt is warping in. Get that +2 attack upgrade going as we speak. Cyclones just gather. Again, +2 vehicle plane is about to be done. The extra tank and the Hellion coming through. Starport and the Armory coming up as well. 4 more Stalkers. The Archon continues to warp in at the moment. Stalker, Colossus, Sentry. Just going to be coming through. You can see the rest of the Cyclones gathering up as well. +2 attack, the Nexus, the Forge and the Cannon. All of that continue to build. So I got the Armory coming online. The Hellions and the tanks produce as well. +2 vehicle planes. Just a few moments from being done. The rest of that army still stepping forward. Prism going to get the warping into the main base. A bunch of those elves come straight down. The Cyclone's able to lock on. And it's going to be a dead Prism. And a few of those elves already going now. Pushing at the front as a Zoun. He blinks into a bunch of tanks, which is very scary. That's not exactly going well for him either. Wooden Mine's also helping to soften up a lot of this army. I feel like the idea is fine, right? Dropping the main, hitting at the front with the main army, but blinking into the tanks you got to be so much more careful of. You want those tanks to be wasting their shots on like Zealots and so on, right? +2 attack, +1 armor still coming in. We've got the 3 high tempers coming about, the Colossus and the Zealots. The gates in the Robo facility continue to build up as well. Still a couple of Vikings and tanks both on their way through. Well, some of the Stalks moving up, the Archon and the Adepts. And the Colossus is going to be there, we're just going to step in. The Stalkers will take a few shots onto the orbital command for a few moments there. Get that set up as well. Just going to see a step forward. The Cyclone going to take some damage. The other tanks getting sieged. So let's around that left side. Going to look for a charge up. Just going to see that Wooden Mine getting a little bit of a connection. Again, +3 vehicle weapons. Plating sorry coming through. Smart servos coming up still for the Terran side. Where do we go next? I mean, Zoun is starting to just take bases, which I think is correct, because at this point, we've wrestled some of the map control away from Q, which isn't actually going to be his early with those Cyclones compared to usual. But now, Protoss army, a bit stronger, not as afraid of the Cyclones, pushing their back, forcing more tanks as well, makes you have to play a little bit more slowly too. Well, we're actually going to blink in this time. The tanks were not preemptively sieged. Now they all start fighting. I feel like the tanks need to target fight down the Colossus. Then it's going to be easy units to get through. You remove the splash damage is only going to be good for keeping your Hellbats and so alive. Now we have extra reinforcements showing up, and you're going to see Zoun able to pincer through, or pierce through, this mech army. Going to get through. A couple more of the tanks going down. Stalkers blink underneath a couple of Vikings and just guarantee that nothing is getting away from this engagement. Fuzels slip across into the mineral line. QS says GG, and that is going to be Zoun taking a second game. Ties us up 1 apiece in the BO3. Kyo trying to mech it up, and he does not make it happen, unfortunately, as we get ready for a final game, deciding game, in this next few moments. Third map, final map, is going to be 10,000 feet. Awesome. Move myself around. Got the players in the player slots. One more cast and we are good to go into game 3, guys. Here, ready's up, and we send it then. Perfect, let's do this. Let's dive in. Let's see what we get as we head into another beautiful game of StarCraft. Loading the screen for 10,000 feet. In the bottom right side. Going to be our blue Protoss player, tying it up. Denied the mech victory. And is looking to take a big game for himself here. Is Zoun in the bottom right. Again, Zoun's position in this group, guys, is 2-1. So if you win this 3-1, you're very likely to make yourself a guaranteed playoff slot performer. So yeah, big one here for Zoun. SQ looks to get to 4-0. Also be in a very good place for playoffs. SCV, Pro be coming through. I'm just gonna see the barracks coming around. SCV still producing gate and the Pro coming up as well. That Reaper is continuing through. Another Reaper starts up, Cybercore, and the next on the way, adding a simulator on. Take a couple of moments as you see the probe still heading to the bottom. Someone's probably going to take second. His map score's kind of good. Yeah, this group's kind of in an interesting place in general, I think. His map score is good, but yeah, I guess if Zoun, I mean, obviously if Zoun loses here, and then he loses to Percival, then he's 2-3, and then he's not in a good position at all. So it really depends a little bit on what the other results come out to be. There is a possibility 2-3 is enough to get you through the group, but it's very unlikely. The Percival versus Shin and Percival versus Zoun games that are coming up will tell us a lot more about what to kind of expect from this group with the last couple of matches that will remain by the end of the day. So that'll be kind of cool. Have a bit of a bad idea of where we're at and where we all stand. A couple of those bags still coming up. Again, they're coming through. The SCV and the Cyclone. The couple of Marines will continue to get going as well. Second Wolf Gate coming up, couple gates coming into production. Cyclone and those Marines will continue to come around as well. Tank that Marine coming up. Oh, another Mule, so just going to drop down. For a few more moments. We've seen the, again, blink coming through as we take a couple of moments. Stim, Marines, tank continue about just for the moment or two. Gun combat children, that's still building up. I'm just going to be seeing the Nexus coming through as well. A couple of pylons coming around. Like Unlock's just going to get a grab. Obviously nice to remove the observer, remove the vision, and just not let Zoun know exactly what's going on at points. Oh, gonna pull the SUV. Secure is sending it. Army coming around, a couple stalkers gonna gather up. So the SUVs are gonna pull, Marines in the cycle are gonna come around, a couple tanks are gonna be right there. Marines gonna stem through, sentry pops the Guardian shield, the Marines getting right up close and personal, those stalkers taking a beating. You're gonna see 9 SUVs going down so far. Now just gonna continue to push forward, a couple of these pylons are gonna get grabbed, these gateways gonna got dropped down as well. Q continues to aim at this. This pylon does indeed drop. Everything else still taking a bunch of damage. And Marines continue to press on through, and this Nexus now in some trouble. 12 SUVs down, probes retreating, and again, Immortal, gateways, and the charge upgrade continue to produce by. There's Bioforce still working onto the Nexus as the Stalkers blink back toward the ramp for a few more moments. The Stalkers on the top side trying to do what we can, but there's still a lot of damage done. Zoun's buying a lot of time. I think ideally charge comes online before you fight this, but the more time you wait here, the longer it is until then those bunkers get up. That said, we recall across to protect the third base. Where do we position to as a Q? Does he push the main? Does he commit to killing off the third? There's not really a good option. I mean, there's a lot of units on this third base now with no stack defense, but there's a lot of space for them to run away from. Couple of Stalkers hitting those Marines. We pull them back a little further. The bunker's still coming through. An Observer and the pylon coming up. Tank, Marines, the missile turrets all coming into place. The bunker coming online as well. A few Marines are going to get straight onto this Nexus. And you see the Zelts coming from the right side of the tank and the Stalker. Combat begins. We see the bio on the left is going to trade very well with the Stalkers and the Immortal there. And the units that try and jump on the tanks, don't get me wrong, they got a couple of the tanks, but they get wiped out as well, so I don't think this is enough from Zoun. Army supply obviously suggests very much so that is the case as well. Stalker's going to fight Marines and the tank coming over. Q is just going to take game 3. Just like that, Zoun says GG's. And that is going to wrap up. Alrighty, guys. So, Q is going to get himself to 4-0. Zoun will drop to 2-2. He has Percival left to play. What order are we doing these in? Percival, Shin, and then Percival, Zoun. Let's do it like that. Perfect. Alright, we'll go hop to NA because I've got the replays on NA just from setting up earlier. So we're going to do Percival, Shin, and then Percival versus Zoun. Guys, the Lambo games are cancelled for now. They're going to be not cancelled, they're postponed. They're not going to happen today because the Lambo games have been... Lambo has internet issues. He can't get any internet, so... Lambo games are indeed not happening today, so apologies for that. Can't really do anything about internet's decided not to work, so no more Lambo games today. It'll just be Percival versus Zoun and Percival versus Shin. Starting with Percival versus Shin. Cool. Cool. All right. Okay, so it's just setting out a couple things. Let's hop on over to NA. Get wrapped up. Sorry, I forgot to tell Kira that he was done. Oops. My bad. Cool. Let's go, guys. Let's go into Percival versus Shin some TVZ. So this is a big match because Percival and Shin both sit at 1 and 2. The winner of this has a very good chance of making playoffs. The loser of this is in a pretty bad place. I mean, if Shin loses this especially, he's going to be below Shameless. Yeah. The winner of this is in a very good place. The loser of this is in a very bad place. And even the very good place is not a guarantee. Let's see what happens here as Percival versus Shin starts up for some TVZ action for us right now. In the bottom right corner, the red Terran. It is going to be Percival. In the top left tower, Blue Zerg is going to be Shin. Alrighty, guys. Some TVZ then. Let's see where we go. Let's see what we get. Percival's been looking fire lately. Yeah, Percival's been really good at points. I feel like he's still got a bit of that consistency. That's not quite completely there, but a lot of the time he's playing some great games. He is playing some great games. Overlord moving, mention the pool coming about, a couple of those drones coming in, barracks just going to get started as well. Just going to see that Reaper coming about, CC still heading down to the run right side. And yeah, just going to be having our CC, the Orbital, and the Reaper continue to build up for a few moments. The SCV will continue to run across. And that Reaper's about to pop. And the SCV comes over. A couple queens and the drones. We'll build through for a few moments as the SCV pulls back. As he pulls it back, Marine is going to gather. A couple queens and the drones all coming over for a little bit. Again, drones and so coming about. Factory's going to build. Can I reactor going on this barracks as well, so we got a lot of that into place. Just have this Overlord keeping an eye on things. The Reaper pulling back over toward the left-hand side. Decide where it wants to go. Maybe comes about again, link speed, drones, the queen and the Evo chamber all coming about. Just going to be seeing the orbital command settling on the natural. The Reaper gets poked away. Peaceful first 3.5 minutes on Ruby Rock. Nothing lost And Stimpak starting from Percival. He's going to go into that third CT, but second barracks, no starport just yet. So going to prioritize the bio units. Prioritize the bio play is going to be his goal for the moment. Quinn's just going to shoot. Reaper takes a few more shots. The Helling's come back over that right side. And Carapace's going to come around. The Ling's going to come back over as well. He's going to be bringing that back through. He's going to have our stim back halfway done. Starport building. There's a few Marines here. They're just going to knock through the rocks on the low ground as well. Just going to pick on that. The Ling's going to run into this natural. The SCV is going to pull away. We have got a couple of kills already coming through. That's the Marine's going to get there. The Zerglings get turned down. Now just going to have the depot being picked away at for a couple of moments. The Hellions are there as well to deal with the Zerglings. The Zerglings take some damage. Pull back this other side. Medivacs, Marines, and Stimpak building. And obviously that means that we're going to have some action here very soon from Percival. Shin with that Carapace upgrade helps a lot against any sort of Marine-based opener. If it's not Marine-heavy opening, melee can be pretty good, but obviously against Marines early, there's going to be a lot of you taking shots while you're running in towards the Marines and so on, or trying to get us around. So the Carapace just generally gives you a lot more value. So Carapace early makes a lot of sense with what Percival is heading for. And like I say, we should have Percival active on the map here very soon. Stimpak is done. The Medivacs are ready. I don't think there's going to be too much reason for him to be hanging back and not starting to push over already. So expecting this to become a factor now as the Marines and the Medivacs will begin to make their way through for the next few moments. So Medivacs making their way across. Reaper. Gonna get a little grenade down on a few of those Lings. Just gonna be seeing the other Marines. We'll gather about as well. Join this all together. And yeah, combat shield coming through. Marines attack and the rest coming about. Just gonna be seeing the Marines getting surrounded by the Lings. Gonna load back up into the Medivacs. 1-1 upgrades, combat shield still coming through. Tank producing, the rest of this army coming back around. The Marines unloading once again. Marines trying to get after those Zerglings. Not quite able to do enough just yet. The rest of this army still pulling away. Lings back to the top left-hand side. Marines and Medivacs hanging into the bottom left-hand corner as well. And we'll see the army looking to stim through. A couple of these Queens already taking some damage. Stim right up. That Overlord taking some big damage as well. We do have the melee upgrade and the plus 2 Carapace coming through. Bane speed is still producing as well. Just got the Medivacs continue to make their way around. Just loading these back up and having ourselves the Medivacs very low. And like I said, just escaping away for a little bit here. Extra Banes coming up. Hatcheries building through. A lot of units now heading up that right side. It's just going to make that shove. Make a little bit of a push in. Tank gets sieged. A few Marines are going to be there. Overlord does indeed get knocked away at already. Just having this hatchery coming under fire. And again, the Marines already stepping forward. Try and see what they can do. The thing's going to crash. The Marines looking to try and get forward as well. A couple tanks still sieged. On the other side of the map, a few Lings counterattacking. They're not going to find much. Shin going to lose this hatchery. So he's going to have to play through the bottom left of the map, which is a little bit out of position for, you know, this base you typically want to keep. Obviously, right now it's his 5th, so it's... Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is this is a push which I think is designed to kind of deny this base anyway, but like I say, if it's your 5th, it's not as important as Shin, but you generally do want to still keep it alive. There's going to be a tank which is trying to get cleaned up. He is going to keep it alive. This push is going to kind of whittle down a little bit. It's obviously coming at cost. Shin's had to give a lot of units up for it. Trying to set up mining in this bottom left side of Ruby Rock now. Doesn't have as much creep on the right side too. As he works creep down the left, he's going to be very well set up to defend there. The only concern I have is like this base is very close to the Terran, so this really does have to be your next base, which is why you really do still want to defend it. You don't just want to get knocked down to 4 bases super freely. Not as the Terran takes their own 4th base, especially when they've just scouted your Ling run by. That's, you know, the one thing that's going to try and do anything about that. Percival is already moving some units over in this direction. I think he should be able to keep this alive long enough to get him over to a plant, so he's going to lift it for now, though. Gets the Overlord. A few of the Lings keep running. And now Marines and Medivacs on the top. They make their way through as well. Marines still dealing some good damage. We're going to load up into the main. Hydra's going to get the full Medivac. In fact, going to get both, so very effective trade. Hydra's getting a catch here. Percival, not quite the best decision he's made throughout the day, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes you obviously just try and do multiple things, and you think you've got an idea, but your opponent's just one step ahead, so that's going to be a win from Shin. Kind of feel like Shin needed something like that. Pull back. Wouldn't mind gets burrowed up. Still just seeing that +2 melee upgrade, the +1 missiles coming by. Again, advertised carapace. The Overlord speed will be coming up as well as the Marines will step through. A couple of these Crypt Timbers getting grabbed. The Overseer trying to get in as well. The rest of the Lings, the Hydras, and the Banes will come across. The Medivacs again taking a bunch of damage. Close, building through, +1 vehicle weapons coming up. Lings, Hydras settling. Just going to be seeing the Ling Hydra Bane Force all coming together right now. A couple of Widowmine shots going off. The rest of the Lings coming through. Widowmine does not get to fire. That could have been a big connection with everything clumped, but wasn't given the time to actually get the shot off here, as the rest of this Ling Bane Hydra Force is still very much so making its way along. Going to get down. A couple of the Banelings going to get shot at. Shin starting to take a little bit better control of this game, as we are going to see a supply in a great place. He's going to run through a few Widowmine shots. He's going to keep swarming toward the bottom right here on Ruby Rock. He is sending this. Tank goes down. Bio units getting caught. Hydras and Lings left over on the left-hand side, and Shin fighting himself right back into this. Can we kill some actual economy, though? Only 4 SCVs have dropped throughout this. You'd imagine you'd want a little bit more. Shin has given up a lot of units to make this happen as he continues to push his way into the natural expansion, and now these SCVs have to pull as well. The Hydras and the Lings out of here doing some work. Maybe a few more Lings could show up. They're actually just fighting the wall off, which is not ideal, because now your Hydras out here are going down. Would have been much more powerful to have these Lings in the front, get these Hydras to keep dealing damage for longer, because Hydras are super high damage output units. The longer you keep them alive, the better. More Lings on the left side still doing their thing. We killed a ton of depots. Percival is mega supply blocked. In the end, I don't think you can really complain about what Shin did. I do think it could have maybe been a bit better, but like I said, I think I would have prioritized fighting the Lings onto this army rather than on the depots. Because like I say, you just get a bit more value from the Hydras there, but it was successful enough that we're really just nitpicking from a very good position. I mean, Percival is still supply block coming out of this, so Shin is nigh on getting close to remaxing, and Percival's not even being able to build a unit again just yet on the back end of that fight. Ling Hydra steps through, units pulling over to the side, +2 missiles. Adrenal glands coming into place. Fire pulling back. The Hydra's going to be there. Ling Bane regathering again. Hydras will knock down the rocks. A bit more of this bio continue to gather through, and we just again settle to that right side. Marines load. Yeah, Medivac just pulls off to the side for a moment or two. Hydra Bane, Ling toward the top. Take a couple seconds. 33 upgrades are building as well. The couple of Lings already jumping into some dropper lords here. What's up, Cranky Ducklings? Thank you for the raid. Hope you guys had a good tournament. Thanks so much for hosting us. We are going to have Spire Force continues to step across down that bottom left side. On the top side, Hydra's going to be there to push the Medivacs away. The Ling's up there as well to help us out. Some more Banes going to be settling as we are going to pull back away. A couple of Banes go down almost immediately. More bio units pushing through. Hydra's going to get caught. That Queen going to get caught. And we'll push through that one just to chase this away for the moment, as we are going to see 3 melee upgrades still coming about. The 3 engineering bay upgrades. The attack and the armor continue to build as well. This is a full Medivacs coming back over here in response to the dropper lords, I think, so we should be able to defend this pretty nicely. As I was going to say, Shin didn't realize that that's going to be expensive. He loses 8 supply. 8 lings go down. It's not even 8 supplies, it's 4 supply. So he was a little bit, nothing too crazy. Wouldn't mind going to get the Viper very quickly. He does get Blind Clouds off. Second Wouldn't mind going to go as well. 2 Vipers dead, so it's actually not terrible for Percival starting this off. Yeah, the Blind Clouds came into play, but still, Vipers going down is a pretty good trade. Now we're going to see a new tank showing up. The Bane's going to take a chance to run toward these Marines, which are going to run for the hills for a few moments. No 5th base allowed. Percival going to be kept back on the 4 base setup. Shin making sure that it's not going to progress too much beyond that here on Ruby Rock just yet. Spire still building through another group of lings. A couple additional spine crawlers continue to build as well. Bunch of extra Banes morphing in. Marines in the mines coming back over to the left side. A couple of Crypt Teamers being picked away at as well. So just going to see a bunch of those going down. Wouldn't mind going to turn onto the Hydra. Is going to get one. The other Hydra survives for the moment. Lings are going to go out to the SCVs too. A lot more Lings and Banes still running around on that far right side. Lings in this main base just getting scanned. Just going to see the few Marines going through. Planetary able to fight for a few moments here. Just going to have ourselves the blow up on that Planetary Fortress. A bit more damage done. The Lings still jumping onto the siege tank as well. Orbital can continue to gather together. A few more moments. Orbital is going to drop back down into position. On the other side, the Marines are still going to show up. It's going to be seeing the Marines continue to run. The Lings coming through. The medevacs loading, trying to escape. Not exactly going great right now. A bunch of additional Banelings coming straight into play here. Still got that drop loading position. Still got the other couple libs setting up as well. Tank going to go after these changelings. Going to grab a bunch of those. And again, the Lings on that right side going to continue to move about for a moment. They're still trying to run through and just going to be seeing the Marines able to pull back. A couple more of those Lings getting hit. They're going to burrow up. We only have 2 Lings left alive there. On the bottom left, a drop, trying to find something from Percival. Also not going to succeed too much just yet. 2 more Widow Mines, medevac, and the 2 more tanks continue to build as we go. Doctor, the Liberator, Bane's going to try and roll through this Planetary Fortress. Gets knocked down already. SCV is going to pull back across onto that mineral line. The rest of the Hydra Bane running away, the Overseers as well. Marine, Marauder, tank, medevac in production. That's all it is currently from Percival. Still just playing with this kind of lower tech army, not really teching out into anything. He's got a Ghost coming. Okay, he actually does have 8 Ghosts, I apologize. So he does have a little bit more tech here, force kind of ready to go. He lost a couple Ghosts in the fight so far. I didn't realize he had 8 actually. It's pretty decent. But what he is losing, he's basically replenishing with the channel, you know, with the cheaper units for the most part. Nothing Bane still joining, and we do have the Marines running away. A couple of Banes coming down, gonna get blasted straight away. Wouldn't mind shots. Just some Zerglings actually gonna go pretty nicely. Do we have anything else to kind of follow up? If we kill a lot of these Zerglings fairly freely, that'd be great. Also, tanks starting to lose the SCVs now. The Marines in that corner are not exactly enough to stop this swarm of Lings. On the left side, Hydra, Viper, and company begin to make their move. These units back it off. We scan for a few more Zerglings. We're actually going to see a couple of the Ghosts stepping through there as well. This, again, army steps out over the left side for a little bit, so Shin going to get away from here. And +1 fly attack coming through. Just going to see the rest of the Lings wrapping around. A couple of Overseers coming up. Seeing the Orbital Command going to move over a little bit as well. Still got the rest of the Lings pulling back to the left side. And again, 15 more Banes. The Lings and the Overseers all coming online. +1 flyer attack. Not far from finishing either. Big wing attack down that right side. Bane's going to crash through, going for the tank. The Ling's going to get wrapped around. Going to see a bunch of those tanks getting caught. The Bioforce will continue to try and trade this. Going to lift up that Orbital. Planetary gets denied. The SCV's going to get caught as well. The Shin Swarm continues to be a little bit overwhelming right now. And there's a few more Ghosts show up. The Marauder's going to drop back down. I think Shin's going to have enough, to be honest. I mean, he's got the supply and he's got the bank account to go along with it as well. I think Shin is looking good here. For a game 1 victory on Ruby Rock. Kind of a very fun game. Shin really just at one point found some of these fights that started to go very well for him, and they continue to go very well for him from that point on. Percival going to type the GG, and it is going to be Shin to open this series with the map advantage. GG's. All right. Going to be having ourselves game 1 going the way of Shin as we see. We'll be heading to an Old Republic here for map 2 in a couple of moments, guys. Do, 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 do. Alright, counting down into it, guys. Let's get this going to go. Game number 2. On the top right side, Percival is going to be our Red Terran player. He's been so good lately. Sometimes stringing together a few wins is very doable for him. Other days it's a little bit tougher. Again, winner of this series in such a great spot. They'll move to 2-2, life in their own hands. While the loser will be at 1-3, and that's going to be very difficult to advance forward from. Then you need other things to kind of go your way that are completely out of your control. So this match has a lot of importance on it. Alright, Shin with the 1-0 advantage, big one. See this overload moving through. Mention the pool coming up, a couple dronies on the way. Yeah, overload makes its way to the top side, so just trying to see what we're getting up to. Overlord is going to get across. SCV heading down the bottom left. There we go. Bless you, unleash packed with some Valmors and Rangors so you can start headbutting people with Yi. At least you don't need the Valmors. You can play the Yi without the Valmors. The Rangors are pretty sick though. Pretty disgusting card. Give me PTSD. Lost my last 2 skirmishes to Yi. Ugh. Such a good duck. As we coming about, and see the couple command centers are building through. The reactor is on its way in as well, so we just got a lot of this on the go. Just initially get this started. Being pretty peaceful here for 2.5 minutes. That's pretty gross in a good way though. Yeah, but you don't need it. It's good in some matchups, I guess. I bless you with 3 Rangors. I have my Rengar promos from skirmishes now. Probably get rid of a couple. I have like 5. You're just going to see a Reaper chilling about, a few drones on the way, overloading the Queens coming up, racks on the CC, SCVs and the Marines will build. Reaper steps around again, Rotron, Evo Chamber coming up, a few drones on the way. We had that Queen on as well. Bring that up and into position right here. Just gonna fight against the Queen. Following this Reaper, guys, there's not much else going on. The Overlord tries to scout. We are going to see the Rotron Evo Chamber, so we've seen what Shin's getting up to. We're starting to see some decisions on the map here. And again, Combat Shield and Stim continue to build up the few SCVs. Coming into place, that factory coming online as well. Some of our Combat Shield is going to be coming about. Queen, the Roaches, that lair continue to come up as well. But yeah, nothing really too much going on. Just going to be seeing that that will be on the way then. I'm just going to be playing a bit of a Roach setup to set us off initially. Let's see if Shin gets like super aggressive with this or not. We'll see exactly what he wants to do over the next little while. Those few Marines will make their way across the map. Or will they? Yes, they will. They will make their way over, so they are going to start moving in that direction. Carapace upgrade obviously coming through here. Could have been missiles. Only one Evo Chamber, and I think Carapace is going to be the more likely choice a lot of the time. Oh, sorry, he's got double Evo Chamber. Oh, I'm blind. Where's the other Evo? Where's the other Evo? It's in the natural. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just not watching carefully enough. Alright, so just one on the way. We'll draw on a bit further. Obviously, Lair is done, so I was imagining we were going to get Roach Speed going. We're going to start it now. And like I say, my initial presumption here is going to be if you go into Roach Speed, you generally do look towards something of a 1-1 Roach timing. That Link Speed is not something that's really needed for that, though, so maybe this is not going to be all-out Roach 1-1 aggression. Marines going to continue back and forth. Still got Roach Speed coming through. Lings Speed, +1 missiles, +1 Carapace coming over. Medevacs, tanks, Marines and Marauders just coming through. The 1-1 upgrades are still building on those engineering bays. And this armory comes up around the back of the main. Well, Medevacs are going to load up. They're going to be making their way out down toward the bottom left side. A few of those Marines will unload already from these Medevacs. We're going to get to the edge of this creep spread, and we are going to start to stem through. A couple of creep teamers go down immediately. A few Roaches are going to step forward to try and meet this army. The Ravagers trying to morph in. Again denied. We just have the Medevacs jumping back to the high ground again. Oh, melee upgrade starts up following the Carapace, so not even going to go +2 Carapace, but straight to melee upgrades. Yeah, Shin never really set up to be super aggressive on the Roaches, but he is just going to be on his way to Hive Tech. Does he have an Infestor already? Yeah, he's got a couple Infestors, a couple Fungals available. It's just safe with the Roach Ravager initially, then moving mostly into Infestors and then the melee force. Lingbane, maybe even Ultras. I mean, like I say, Hive's coming up, so you're going to have a lot of options in terms of what exactly we start building very soon. You're going to have the entire game more or less open to you. Burstful late on the armory. He has it. Yeah, he does have it. Oh, he's also got himself caught in a massive fungal. Not a lot of capitalization from Shin there. Didn't have really enough Roach Ravage, I guess, to engage through. So actually, probably a good choice. I mean, nice fungal, drains a bunch of medevac energy, gets a bunch of units low, but probably a good thing not to dive in. That Roach Ravage I don't think was going to be deadly onto that army despite the fungal. Not with what was there as well. Some of it was quite far back, and so now we see a few Lings already running by. Shin trying to play a nice speedy stage of this game. As the depot raises, just going to see those few Lings. Going to be denied their access point. Again, just going to see the Bane that's coming through. Ultra Cavern still building. 30 more Lings. Melee upgrade and the +2 Carapace coming up as well. Just going to see the Bioforce still trying to step on forward. Pushing on to some of this Road Traveler already still. Corrosive Bars are going to take a siege tank down. On the top, these few Lings are going to run through. Just going to be jumping onto a Synth Tower as well. The rest of the Lings still gathering up. Just going to still gather. Just going to be seeing the Planetary finish in a second or two. SCVs being picked away at. 16 workers at this point. It's a lot of damage taken, right? 16 SCVs going down is a pretty big deal. Drilling Claws just finished up. The rest is Bio coming back around. It's going to be seen Ultras, Banes, and Lings still in production. +2 Melee will be starting. The +2 Carapace is already finishing. Tank going to try and fight those Roaches. Bio on the right side going to try and fight the Roaches as well. Ultra and the Ravager is going to come through too. Big push back across in this direction. The Ling Roach Ravager Ultra Force coming along and chasing right now. Medevac's going to load, going to retreat away. The other army going to get back to the center. You can see the couple, well, the tank in the middle of the map gets caught as well. +2 Melon, +3 Carapace still coming through. Ling Bane still coming up. Another catch in the middle of the map. Sorry, caught the tail end of the fungal growth. Just going to see Shin. Supply is already good for him, and with Ultras out, this army looks amazing. Obviously, does not have any fungal growths left over right now, but if the Ultras just tank for a little bit, I mean, these SCVs are pretty late to pull. You get after a few of the SCVs. Obviously, only 3 SCVs. That's pretty incredible. As we are going to see the damage output is enough to get rid of this Planetary. With a couple of Biles, it might not even matter, as the Ultras up on the high ground are just not going anywhere. We are going to get rid of that Planetary on the low ground. These Ultras are super low, so at least they will start to drop. Maybe get cleaned up, and then maybe the game opens a little bit for Percival, but you just lost your 4th base and your army's in wrecks, I say. Game's going to open up, I say, yeah. In what way, I guess, is actually the real question. There's no units to open the game up with. So, yeah. It's pretty tough. A few more Lings and Roaches still stepping through. The Ultra's still coming up. Again, Spire is building as well. Command Center getting to the front there. Another hatchery coming forward as we speak. The rest of these Lings, Ravagers, and Roaches are going to gather around. Command Center going to drop down back into position. Lings get through once more. Another couple Corrosive Biles onto the Command Center. Liberator will begin to siege up. The Ling's going to run through. A couple of Mine shots going to get off as well. Corrosive Biles able to knock that Liberator straight down. And we do have the Ultra Ling Force continue to shove forward here. The few Ravagers will continue in as well. The Ling's getting their wraparounds. I think that's going to be more than good enough as we continue to chase this through. The few Lings are still trying to push their way through the wall. And there's just so much momentum at the moment going in the way of Shin. I don't really disagree with him continuing to fight through and killing every unit that he can. He's going to keep himself open to harassing the 3rd base mineral line as well. There's just no safe place at this point in time for Percival, he's trying to hang on to the Liberators to help him out, and maybe we can just about do enough to help us there. Corrosive Biles, he has that 3? No, just the 2 to hit the Liberator. 3rd would have been nice for the kill. The supplies are getting closer than they were for a while. I mean, maybe Shin should have actually stepped back for a couple of seconds here. That fungal doesn't really do much of anything, but there's a wave of Lings might, especially as there's been a lot of Marauders that have been popping out to try and deal with these Ultras. The Lings obviously going to do well against those. Percival says the GG's, and it is going to be Shin to take the 2-0 to help himself out in this group. That's massive, because obviously we're getting to the sort of point where map score and tiebreakers are definitely potentially very important for these guys in the group as well. So a 2-0 helps you a lot out on the map score. That's going to push Shin up heavily. And again, he will play against Lambo for his last match. That will not be today because Lambo has internet issues, but will be played over the weekend or so. We'll hopefully cast that for you guys next week to figure out where exactly Shin will finish. But I think he's guaranteed to always finish ahead of Shameless, which is already really good because there is a world where you can maybe get into some interesting tiebreaker scenario. Yeah, we're not going to have like exact results today, but we might have a good idea of who's in a very good position ahead of the last couple of matches or so. So yeah, cool, guys. Right, that wraps up that series. We're going to get ready for Percival versus Zoun. Coming up next, as we enter what will be our last series of the day. Unfortunately, like I say, we lose a couple matches because of Lambo's internet. Sometimes the world just does not work for you, it works against you. Such is life. Alright, we'll just give it a minute or so, guys, get into this Percival and Zoun series to wrap up the day. Yeah, no Lambo versus Shin today, guys. No Lambo versus Shin because Lambo has internet issues. No Lambo match. The only Lambo match today was the Percival one because all the Percival games were pre-played. So it was before he had internet problems. Alrighty, guys. Let's get to it, as we are going to have in the bottom left-hand side our Blue Terran for the last match of the day. This is going to be Percival up against the Red Protoss in the top right side. It's going to be onsides Zoun. Alright guys, just as we kick off into what will be our last match of the day, I'll just take a couple moments to do what you might expect. That's what I do best. It's the sellout segment of the stream. Of course, this is a WardiTV tournament, part of the WardiTV 2026 series, WardiTV Spring Championship. If you do enjoy what you're watching, these events happen because of your guys' support, and there's so many different ways you can support. First of all, showing up, watching, viewing is the absolute most important thing, so keep doing that. We appreciate your views. And we appreciate you all continuing to watch these tournaments, because again, without that, that'd just be no offense, full stop. So thank you so much for showing up. But of course, if you want to go further and to help these tournaments keep on going and help to fund the prize pools, the most important thing you can check out is definitely the Patreon page, patreon.com/WardiTV. 100% of anything pledged on Patreon goes directly into WardiTV tournament prize money. So 100% of anything you put into Patreon ends up in the prize pools of these players and into the pockets of the players. So it's a great way to support these events. The Patreon is our foundation for building these tournaments each and every month. So check out the Patreon page. Obviously, you can do some other things. If you're on the YouTube, you can like and subscribe. That's free to do. Helps out a whole bunch. And the other paid options, obviously, you can super chat if you're on the YouTube, or become a YouTube member. If you're on the Twitch, you can subscribe. Don't forget, if you've got a Prime sub, you can use your Prime to subscribe and support the channel and support the StarCrafts that we run here. So do check all of that out. It's all greatly appreciated. All of it allows us to keep on putting into more StarCraft 2, which allows us to keep the cycle up of great games for you guys to enjoy, for you guys to support, for you guys to enjoy more great games, and that circle of StarCraft continues. Thanks for listening. As you have a couple more rows in the Marines going to be there, Dev taking some damage. Well, Team Rose and the Marine going to continue up to the top. Marauders Marine gathering about. Adapter's going to shade. Stalker gathering around. Going to be seeing the blink coming up. Brigades, probes coming through. Stalker and the Adept going to gather. Stem, Factory and Company all coming in. Pretty peaceful first couple of minutes. We lost an Adept and that was about it. So that's where we stand right now. Step back and combat shield still coming up. That blink is about halfway done. Gateway, Robo Facility. Continuing to produce against him. Going to be done very shortly for us here. It's Marine still coming about as well. Actually going to get in reach of that Proby. Probe going to take some damage. The Marine is going to get shot down by the Stalkers. Killed off already. And still a grab. Still combat shield coming through. A few additional Stalkers all gathering up. Just going to see the starport halfway done. The depot is going by. The blink is building as well. Combat shield and +1 coming through. Just going to see the few Stalkers going to get an SCV. It's going to keep pushing up. I was going to say there's Marauders in this bunker. They should be pretty decent against the Stalkers, and they will be a big part of pushing that back. So, seems very safe so far from Percival, who has now actually a stim forward to try and push through a little bit. Robobay coming online from Zoun, seeing where that takes us. And a few other units just still chasing. We get one more Stalker right at the end there. Just gathers again, the Stalkers pulled back. Marine Marauders still coming through and producing. Medevacs are going to build. Just see the Bioforce from Percival going to come back over in this direction. Just gathering about. Medevacs coming through. You can see the Bio going to shoot. A couple of those Stalkers going to get chased away. The Stalkers get shoved for a couple seconds, and he's going to see one Stalker going down already. Sentry going to pop the Guardian Shield. A couple of Zealots going to turn away as well. I don't think we're going to get too much else going on here just yet then. Stalker's guy's going to shoot. A couple of Marines already taking some damage. People were scared that the game will be slower, but you feel like it's smaller. What do you mean? This is not PTR, just in case anyone's confused. This is just normal live games. We've not had a chance to do any PTR stuff on the channel yet. As the Bio steps through, Medevac goes down. This Bio still chasing forward. The extra Zealots going to chase as well. Colossus going to fire. A few Marauders get in front. A couple Widow Mines maybe trying to do something. A few Zealots are going to step across. Widow Mines are going to shoot, and a bunch of those Zealots taking a bunch of damage. Spreading about, turning back around. Sentry goes down. Now these other Zealots still trying to run through as well. Vikings, Marines, Marauders. Armor upgrade coming through. I don't mind trying to get the Stalkers, not quite able to just yet. And yeah, guys, Lambo Shin for the 75th time today. Not played. Lambo has internet issues. There's no Lambo games today. As our Bioforce steps through once again. Well, I mean, it should get easier from Zoun to play defense from here. Colossus coming up in better numbers. Thermaland's done soon. Obviously 1-1 would be nice, but that's not going to be done just yet. Stalker step forward to get a Medevac. We never lose a Stalker, but it actually does stay alive, which is lovely. Big plus for sure. Fire pulling back. More Stalkers fighting. Widowmine's going to burrow up. Just going to get rid of a couple of those. That Colossus is going to get blown up by a Widowmine as well. Not going to die, but a lot of shields and a bit of HP gone on it. So nice for the mine, but it would be better if we actually, as Percival, had a way to maybe capitalize on that and to do something else with this. But that is not going to be the case here. Four more Vikings continue to produce through. Again, Colossus 1-1. Coming about, additional probes are going to build. The battery is coming over. Result Stalk Colossus back around to that right-hand side. Fourth base. Set up over here as well. And we are going to see an army of Percival still pushing up into the center. Result is just going to come scrapping against the Marine. Fire Force gathers again. Stalkers continue to come across. +2 attack, +2 armor on the way through. Just going to get the Immortal building as well. And this little bit of bio is going to gather for the Zealots. And bio going around. Libs coming up for a few moments. Push through. A couple Stalkers have to blink back. The few Marines on the other side can step away as well. Colossus can take some battery healing. Rest of this army coming back around again. Bioforce, Medivacs, Vikings, and Gathering just going to step away. We're maxed out as Percival. And there's Zoun. Still going to try and chase it with the Stalkers. I love Zoun's upgrades. Over halfway to 2-2. Obviously, Percival at this point probably choosing not to go into upgrades because he would rather prioritize the double starport production, the ghost production. He starts 2-2 now, but he's been prioritizing the other things up until this point as he gets to his, gases 7 and 8. That's going to allow him to more comfortably build a lot of these things, but before then, while still on 3 bases, you have to make a choice, and that choice oftentimes is just better to get the tech online than the upgrades. Upgrades are nice. Tech wins you the games. Tech keeps you in these fights. Tech wins you the engagements, I suppose. Zoun has no idea that Percival is having so much of his army on the other side. He's going to turn the Vikings and the Liberators around immediately. He's going to leave the bio to stem through. I think the bio should stick together. He started to split some to the left. I think sticking together might be a better call overall. Like I say, Vikings and Libs coming back is smart. The Vikings are going to get a chance to actually go straight after the Colossus here. There's not a lot of Stalkers here. So there's not a lot of anti-air to really stop this either. So Zoun, you're going to start losing a lot of your splash damage. Percival should absolutely be in the natural by now, though. Like he's sat here fighting a base. I mean, maybe he's going to go down over here instead. But like this army could have targeted that Nexus and run straight to the natural, killed the natural already. So I feel like Percival is not getting as much out of this trade as he really should be. Obviously, he's going to take damage at home. The Zealots are still going to be very difficult for him to chew through. As this base trade continues, can he make some kind of a hold on the high ground? Vikings land kind of toward the Zealots on the low ground. They could have landed high ground as well to stay out of reach. EMP comes down. The Zealots are going to start breaking forward. We're going to have to see the little bit of bio that remains pulling back as well. Again, Percival needs to try and multitask a bit better. That army on the other side of the map could be doing so much more, and I still truly believe it. Maybe not now. There's a lot of units back at home. I really think he could have done more. Don't get me wrong, killing a couple bases was nice, but he's killed like the 4th and the 5th. Essentially, I mean, this was kind of the 5th, right? But like, let's just call it. He's killed 2 bases. He's lost his natural. He's lost this base, so he's lost base 2 and 3. And he's down to 2 bases, whereas his opponent's still on 3. So I think overall, hard to love it for Percival, although it's still a very competitive game. It's going to rebuild from a very interesting position. Man, he was just so slow reacting with so much of this army. Like, I just expect more from Percival, right? I expected Percival to hit this base, run here, hit this base, then he could have backed away and killed this base on the way out. But I think that's the sequence of events I was expecting. And instead, the sequence of events we got was like, he just spent so long killing every single structure on that forward base initially. Then eventually moved over to the next base, then was AFK again. Like I say, there's a lot going on, but you just expect Percival to be able to do more at once than what he's done here. And I think that's the main thing, is just our expectation of Percival is of a higher level than what he just displayed. Now, he does wipe this army out, coming in from 2 sides, is able to knock all the Immortals down, just a handful of the Stalkers able to blink away to safety. Word count-wise, Zoun is up 60 to 31. He's down an army supply. Upgrades did finish from Percival. Getting 2-2 up and equalizing those upgrades is a big deal. Zoun's not found the money to go into 3-3. So that makes a lot of sense too. Just going to see that Advanced Ballistics finishing. Marine Marauder Ghost still coming about. The Bio Ghost Medevac gathering as well. And DT heads down to the base over here. Just going to see the DT already going to be there. Swiping away, a couple of Zalds get in there. Just going to pick that missile turret off as well. Orbital command about to go down. There's Bio pulling through. The few ghosts still pulling back. A couple of Zalds and the Stalkers still trying to get involved in this. A few Bio units going the other side again. This Bio on the bottom right going to go down toward the Nexus. We do have the DT here. Is going to continue to swipe and dice. Zoun at 59 workers still to the 29 in Percival. Very scrappy scenario breaking out here on Tourmaline. So I think this base is huge because actually putting this down to 3 bases each is very good for Percival. Keeps them in this for sure. It means that a lot of the workers that Zoun has are oversaturated at this point. Main is mined out. Natural's halfway gone. So that necessity for another base is a pretty big deal. Just going to see the rest of the Bio pulling back over. The DT pulling around as well. 2 more Marauders, 2 more SCVs continue to come through. EMP from the Bio Force. You can see the Zelda still charging forward. Stalkers and the Sentries are going to be there. The Immortal coming around the back. This Bio doing a great job of continuing to trade out. You're going to turn it the other way. That Immortal being chased. Going to get jumped on. Immortal's going to go down. Caught already. Just seeing the Stalkers, the Sentries pulling away. A little bit more of a grab there. The Zealot getting caught as well. This Ghost, or these couple of Ghosts, what do you want to do? Is thinking about an EMP, doesn't quite commit to it. We'll step back over, a couple of Ghosts keep retreating, a couple of EMPs coming down, Zealots and the rest coming through. Colossus is really nice in this snow. You've got no real way to get rid of it unless you just knock down the Zealots and try and take a jump forward, but you can take a lot of splash during that. Percival just flips and says, let's fight then. This scrap of units. Last few Stalkers go down, so we will break onto the Colossus like I mentioned. We are going to take that down. However, new Colossus, now 2 new Colossus show up. Oh my goodness. That's like get the hell out of that moment from Percival. He just threw everything into killing Colossus 1 and then 2 more show up to the fight. Percival 42, army supply to the 26. There's a +3 attack. A couple Marauders and the Viking continue to come into play. I think Zoun's going to stabilize here. Another base up over on that right side. Do we have enough to keep pushing through? An EMP comes down. Bio trying to fight those few Stalkers, taking some shots. Colossus going to laser beam again. Bunch of those Marauders taking damage. A few more Zealots warping in. The Vikings at least getting rid of the Colossus, right? So we are going to knock the tech units down once again here. That is a pretty big deal more than anything else. First one's going to be there. The Vikings go the other way. Marine Marauder +3 attack coming through. The extra Zealots in production. Units back around the right side into the center from Zoun, seeing where we can go to. And the Stalkers come back over. We're going to drop another mule down into position, so putting that back in place. The few Vikings still continue up. Those Zealots around the right. The Stalkers will get after the SCVs. And the Vikings just going to be there. Again, push the Stalkers away initially. On the bottom side, the Zealots are going to loop around and come through. Just got a bit of the Bio gathering up for a moment or two. Those Zealots get turned back away. I'm just going to go hit that Nexus there. I'm just going to knock this down in the middle of the map. The Bio unit's going to be there to push the Stalkers away. And the Ghost still coming back through. Let me just settle here for a couple seconds. Percival have some zealots on the other side. He's going to knock this base down, and at the same time dropping here, knocking some of the economy away. Keeps Zoun from being able to stabilize. Percival trying to bring this back. You guys think Percival needs some more SUVs? I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess so, right? He could have a bit more economy on this base already. He's a Terran player, though. He just, at this point, he's like, it's a scrappy game. I'm just going to rely on my mules. It's against the Terrans' way to build SUVs in a moment like this, I think. Marines get there. Stalker's getting hit, and a couple crows pulling through. And those Marines will go down. More Zealots. Sentry warping in. 2 Liberators. The Marauders coming up as well. Some Marauders still building through. That orbital lifts off. And then see a few Stalkers still making their way down and out over here. There's the Marauders build. The Zealots are going to gather. Just going to have the Vikings. Lib's taking some damage. We still step through. The Medevac's still stepping away. Stalker's getting underneath. Big push. A couple more of these Vikings still dropping. The Zealots are going to turn back around. Bio going to get chased. I think at this point, Zoun Zombie looks a little too strong. Let's see, the Liberator might be tough for him to get through. He only has like 4 Stalkers. I mean, now he's actually going to be cornered as well, right? He's wrapped around on him from both sides. He actually engages through in toward the Liberator, which is now going to get a lot of damage and value. He is over here, backed off. Obviously got a Planetary to back that up as well. Percival still kind of even on army supply. Lifts off this orbital. He's been trying to relocate around as well. Well, Zoun gets out, at least just gonna get completely trapped in. Starts going through. So it's Stalkers and the Immortals coming over, just gonna be seeing the Bio coming through, just gonna see the Medevac's pulling back, Stalkers blinking underneath, the Liberator getting jumped on here as well. I think, is this it? Is this the breaking point? I don't think it is, actually. I think Bio is going to be able to stand strong, and the Stalkers get pushed the other way again. And Zoun is not able to break through. That's not a fun recall. I guess if you don't recall, you lose everything anyway. Now you lose only 1 Immortal. Oh, man. Percival gets the defense right there. And this base now mining as well. The main relocated to give him a little surge of economy. That said, Zoun has a surge of economy too. Right side base up, bottom right base expanding to... So Zoun has a little bit of economy coming online as well. Zealot's still just going to move over for a little bit. Colossus and the Stalker coming about. Nexus on the way. Medevacs, Ghost and the SCV still building. The Bioforce in the center with these Medevacs will be coming through as well. It's going to get a grab on a Zealot already. 2 more Zealots around the bottom side. This is 22 minutes and we are at 88 ish supply each. Nice scrappy game of StarCraft 2. Extra Zealots, extra Stalker warping in. The Bioforce is going to be pulling back again. The Zealot's going to come over. Just going to be having now a Bio. He's going to be pulling away from this. Again, a few Zealots going to chase. A few probes are going to continue to transfer. All those Stalkers getting picked off already, but overall we're getting overwhelmed here as Percival has to lift and leave. Preserve what he can in the moment. How long can Percival really last in this, though? I mean, if Zoun has these 2 bases now up and actual economy coming online, probes being chrono boosted, I feel like Percival has to go with everything and just send this and hope it's enough, because the longer he waits, the worse he's going to end up. Like, this base here is one fresh base he can really be very happy about, but that's really, I feel like, all you can be happy about in terms of a longer game at this point. Medevac's boost turning back the other way. Starts charge up. A couple Liberators going to zone. Those Zealots going to take quite a bit of damage. On the right side, a couple of Bio units dropping down. Going to get a Zealot as well. Bio going to trade quite nicely here into a lot of these Zealots. Damage being done. Couple Vikings putting some work out. That Colossus taking damage. Sentry and the Stalker is going to be in some trouble too. Just continue to jump onto this. Just going to see that Mortal goes down. That Colossus goes down. get all the way over as you just see our Stalkers making a pick off. The rest of the bio still coming by. That was not a bad fight at all, and Percival has a supply lead on the back of it. He's going to step away from these Zealots. Again, so much of his efficiency right now comes down to every single unit. Love the pickups on the medevacs, because anything you can do to preserve units is going to be great. And Percival is pushing across once more here on Tourmaline, looking to hit this fresh base. He's going to be attacking into Warpins, but at this point, maybe we just have to send it. He will be able to use the Liberators. He's going to have 4 Liberators. EMP comes down. The Liberator is going to be under fire. The bio trying to target down the Stalkers, knowing that if the Stalkers go down, the Liberators are going to carry you. We're going to warp in a couple more Stalkers, but they might not be safe. The new Marauders show up. They're going to run around as well. Stalkers trying to blink through for Liberators once again, but again targeted. The Zealot's got those 2 Marauders at least. More Marauders showing up from the other side. More Liberators, more importantly, on the way. And Zoun is going to say that he cannot get this done. The Libs are going to survive through, and they are going to get the W at the end of it all. Percival is going to be able to take the opening game after 24 minutes on Tourmaline. Holy goodness. Zoun just getting a bit too feisty a couple of times, I think, is the big kind of losing point for him there, right? A few moments where if he just sat back and built up, probably would have been in a much better space than what he ended up in. Fortunately, that is the way of StarCraft. Those mistakes can be made, and in this case, they were indeed made. Alrighty, guys, we will get invites out. Game 2 in a few moments. Let's see what happens. Apparently Shameless, by the way, officially eliminated. He can't, because Shin is going to be ahead of him no matter what a map score. Shameless cannot overtake enough people. So Shameless is officially not going to be advancing to the playoffs. Again, Percival will win this one. He goes to 2 and 3. Zoun goes to 2 and 3. A 2-0 would be huge for Percival because he could put himself ahead of Zoun guaranteed, which would be really good. Then he has a really good chance of advancing. Alright, let's end this, guys. Let's see what happens. Let's send it as in the top right side. Our blue Terran player is going to be Percival. He's up 1 after an exciting opening game in the bottom left. It is going to be our red Protoss Zoun. If it's 2-0, does Percival move on? I mean, it depends on other results, but if you 2-0 here as Percival, you would be moving yourself into very good territory, right? Because Zoun is +1 map score right now. If you 2-0, you put Zoun down to -1, and Percival would go to 0. The problem is if Percival wins, but only does it 2-1, he would go to -1 and Zoun would go to 0, so he's always behind Zoun. And then what do you need to happen? Cure to beat Lambo, and Lambo to beat Shin, I think, needs to happen. Because then you beat Lambo on map score, and you beat Shin on map score, potentially still, as well. Yeah, it becomes very, very funky at that point for Percival. I think it's possible if he wins only 2-1. Obviously, like I say, I mean, I think Zoun's going to be fine, because... Yeah, because Shin and Lambo play each other... Yeah, we'll check when the score comes in and see what it is, but a 2-0 is so much better here for Percival as the TLDR. A 2-0 does a lot for you. coming about, getting set up. Get the RX coming through. He's going to be seeing the CC coming across. The Marine is on the way. Factory will build. It's going to be having our factory building for a second. And drop our bunker into place. Factory building CC is coming online. I'm just going to have the Reaper, was poking and apparently being chased away while I get distracted early. Apologies. Is Percival the one with the cheating accusations? No. It's not Percival. Lambo took one map off of Shin. I don't think that's true, because even if Percival... Say Percival went... Because if Shin wins... If Shin wins and Lambo only takes a map, then Shin's 3 and 2. And Percival can only be 2 and 3. So it doesn't even come down to maps in that case. It just comes down to match score. But even then, the map score... Even map score-wise, say Shin loses 1 to 2 against... Lambo, he'd be -1, and then Percival would be -1 as well, but then then Percival has the head-to-head loss against Shin, so then Shin advances. So yeah, 2-0 is actually super important here for Percival in this group. Actually, it's super important, and this group's getting very close. It's gonna come right down to the wire. I mean, like I say, if Zoun wins this, he's just 3 and 2, and that's clean. If Shin just beats Lambo, then it's clean 3 and 2 versus 2 3s as well. But yeah. Lots of different things to look at as the Reaper and the Hellion pull back around. I'm just going to see our Blink coming up, Raven on the way, Marines and the tank coming through, Barracks will build. Max comes down, looking to get into the tech lab. Starport pulls over to the side. And tank and the Marines coming up. Engineering bay coming through. Just going to see extra stalkers coming around as well. Still got that blink and that prism continue to produce for a few moments. So it's going to get a little clean up. Observer and the probe still producing. So across double bunker here, so very safe. Zoun is just taking a third. I think 2 gates. There's 3 gates. Launch turret into the back as the Raven will start to put some pressure on. And the Stalkers are just going to be in the prism to harass. Stepping through at the moment. Alright, Prism, just going to unload, nothing there. Double tank setup is going to make it pretty difficult to do much. Sorry guys, I think he's just barking, just trying to see what's going on. Storm charge both on the way through. High Templar being added, a few gates in the Nexus coming up as well. The Prism pulls over to the left side, back into the center. Just relocating itself for a little bit. And again, Storm and the charge all coming through. And those Stalkers and the Ob is going to gather up as well. There's the Prism up to the top. Hey from Australia. Hello, how you doing? So much dropping by from all the way across the world. Is our Viking going to get the Observer with the Marines? And so I'm going to be held back here for a moment or two. And Storm charge both building up. There's a few Stalkers pulling back away. Combat field can go to Charles. Look at this one coming over. Smoke's coming across, Bioforce coming over, a couple tanks as well, getting down to the bottom. So I'm just going to drop down, and he's going to see the Bio gathering, a couple more tanks. Just going to get sieged also at the moment. We do have this army setting up here, a bit of Bio going to step through, pile on some damage. You're going to see SCVs down on the other side. Storm hits the tanks. I think it's going to be fine for Zoun. Storms are good. I'm going to look at that harassment because this fight's too important, but the Storms felt very good. We're running out. We're missing like a round of Zelts here. A round of Zelts 5 seconds sooner. This would have been super simple. As it stands, it probably still is super simple as that medevac lifts and saves the tank. Stalkers have blinked to chase after the medevac, and it will not go down. It did swap the tank into a more healthy medevac, which is cool. Does the medevac die eventually? Could have boosted. It will go down if we blink. Not going to blink though. We're going to send this. Oh, now we blink in behind the Zealots as we just charge into this position. A couple of Zealots from the left as well, so that harassment force, so that pylon over there, Prism over there, getting the warp in. I think Zoun just overwhelms, and that's going to put Percival into a much more difficult position in this group in general. Lost here, even just the map, even if he wins this series, it's going to be so much tougher to see him advancing through. As the Bio gets after the Stalkers, a couple of Zealots will try and turn back around. And that is going to be GG's. Zoun ties us up 1-1. Alright, let's go into game 3 then, guys. Percival and Zounio. One more round of ads before our last game of the day, and we go into Winter Madness. Do-do-do-do-do. Alright, let's quick watch. Let's get this counting down. Alright, let's send this in the bottom right hand side. We're going to have ourselves the blue Terran player. This is going to be Percival. As we are tied up now 1-1 with Zoun, the red Protoss in the top left-hand corner. What's up, Crispy? Down with the hats. Thank you so much for the 13-month resub. Oh my god, Crispy1313 with the 13-month resub. It's going to be a lot more months until that happens again. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed for priming us up. Again, all your support, subs, and the rest go toward us running more of these events, guys. So do consider supporting if you enjoy the StarCraft, you want to see more of it. Do consider checking that out. But we're going to keep nibbling for a little bit. Nibbling around, just going to be seeing the Cybercore and the next coming up. We're really just watching this pro because there ain't much else going on. Percival did not scout. He will scout with his Reaper as his first point of action on the map. In a couple of moments. There's our Reaper. Going to start journeying out across to the top, so away we go. This Reaper finally going to get in to find out a bit of what's up. 2 more barracks building up here from Percival. It's going to take us to 3 racks. CC on the high ground being very cautious, very safe, not leaving anything with chance early. We popped down, running out of here. The Adept trying to shade after it. Twilight Council probe, Stalker in the Wolfgate all building. And that Reaper is going to come through, knocking that probie down, killing that off. Reaper comes back around again. The Marines coming through, STV, Orbital, and Tech Labs are coming up. Raise those depots. Again, Blink and the Wolfgate all built into place here. And just have the Adept continue to move around as well, so... Adept moving, Stim Combat Shield producing, the Marines on the way. So far, so good. Well, we're gonna... I mean, this is obviously gonna be pretty bio-aggressive, right? With all the bio and the barracks early, no factory, no starport. We'll see how it looks from Percival. We'll see if he wants to drop a stim and really commit in. The only issue in this scenario is if you drop a stim... Yeah, the problem is if you drop a stim, because you've got no starports and no medevacs, you're going to end up in a very difficult place. Because then there's no healing, so you got to be sure if you're going to drop a stim, if you're going to commit to a fight, you're going to be really committed. Because like I say, there's not a lot of getting out of jail free cards available to you here. Well, that Adept gathers. He's going to be having a few Marines stepping through. The Adept is going to shade. People are just going to lower. Again, Blink about to finish. Observer coming up. Probes and the Assimilators coming by. That Adept over to the left side. Okay, by on the center. Stalker going to take some shots. I actually have some Marines looking to get a flank around. Used him a couple units. I like that. Fairly responsible. We're going to get concussive shells on the way to follow up as well. And Percival gets across the map. Again, starport's on his way behind this. How much do we want to pressure? There's no third here. Which to me says that we probably just don't need to be too aggressive. We're going to stim in. So we're going to send a battery at the energy recharge. The problem is if you try and escape away, these Stalkers are going to chase you, and then you probably have to commit another stim to try and kill some. Probes are now going to pull. How many Stalkers do we lose out on? A fair amount. We're going to get a handful of probes, a very low number. 5, 6. And one interesting trade. Like I say, you're not going to get away with anything once you commit in here because of the nature of those Blink Stalkers. Resources loss is pretty even. 1475 to 1424 now that that final Marauder just got taken down. Probes fell, economy's still even-ish. Obviously, Zoun was not on a third base, so are we okay with this? Being on 2 bases each? Yeah, I guess so. What I don't love is that so much of Percival's game was built around the bio army, and when you give up the bio army like this, where do you go from here, you know? You've essentially just put yourself in a position where now... Yeah, I mean, you've basically just put yourself in a position where you're now going to be in a very difficult place, because your entire game plan was the bio army, but your bio army got completely reset, right? So the strength of your build is kind of gone, and you don't get much of an advantage from it. Overall, it's fine, because you're going to play bio in the end anyway, and this was nice getting a few Stalkers, and maybe you can counterattack here, but I still don't know if this is scary compared to what we had before. If those units are just backed off and we came in now with like a massive bio, you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong, Stalkers going down is expensive, Stalkers going down is a good thing here. And maybe if this, you know, maybe the charge comes in a lot faster as well if you're not, you know, if you're not going to be aggressive then, but yeah, it's a very interesting kind of point because like I say, it's this concept of you just gave up the entire game plan for yourself early game to trade evenly. And this is only really happening now because Zoun got a bit too aggro on the other side and got caught and lost a lot of Stalkers, so now he's in trouble. Because also having to recall away as Zoun means you weren't able to kite this army across the map. If you kite this army across the map, it never shows up in anywhere near as many numbers as what it has done here. Stalkers trying to get those Widow Mines, not quite able to. They can blink back against them, but that's obviously going to take some time and some effort. Percival keeping the pressure on, keeping the foot on the gas pedal. And the Woodermines trying to reposition, wants to use them to again zone and try and buy some time against these Stalkers. One of those Stalkers was low and takes the splash damage to die. Bio just going to target fire. There's a lot of Marauders, so Stalkers are going to go down very quickly. Now we have Zealot showing up. A Colossus too. That's going to be amazing to have the Colossus. The Medivac's load up. Going to have to retreat everything else away. A couple Stalkers still trying to chase. A couple Zealots running in after the rest of this as well. That Stalker going to be here. Wouldn't mind blowing up onto a Medivac. Colossus still firing away. The bio unit's going to stem. Another Stalker or two going down. The Colossus still stepping out of this right there. Just going to be getting away from this one. Just going to be having the Marauders. Actually going to try and catch that Colossus. One Marauder should go down, but I think two are enough to get the kill on this. So there goes the Colossus. And Zoun again steps too far forward. I think Percival's in a great position right now. Tripling the army supply. Upgrades in his favor, and Zoun scrambling to get some sort of a defense going as Percival can push forward again here in a second. They kind of just left a couple mines as well. Keep those alive to soften up some Zealots that show up if they do. Looks small 447 army supply. I know, but he's also got a lot of units coming across the map as well, right? All of this, units in the production tab as well. Obviously now we're at 62, but point stands, that's probably where a lot of it is. The Medivac count's been kept healthy as well. The Colossus can be the saving grace here. Keeping a Colossus up and splashing throughout this could be absolutely game-changing. We'll open a few Zealots. We need these to try and just buy time, essentially. Woodermines obviously going to be great against the Zealots if they get the chance. Coming around on the right side now, looking to push straight up here. Going to see a couple more Zealots getting warped in already. It's going to be seeing Stalkers trying to blink through. A couple Vikings already taking some damage. How's this going to go? The Colossus tries to fight. It's going to see the bio, I think, overwhelming. Obviously, too much collecting together. 1-1 upgrades. And once you break onto that Colossus, that's going to be good enough. Percival gets the 2-1 victory. And Zoun is going to drop to 2-3 in this group. So Zoun's going to be 2-3. Someone is going to advance with a 2-3 match score. Because Lambo, Percival, Shin are all... I mean, even if Shin wins, like, yeah, someone's going to advance with 2-3. Who is it going to be? Like I say, Zoun is in the best possible position for it. I think his map score is the best going in. So Zoun, I think, is always going to advance here. Because he can never be taken by... Okay, what if Shin beats Lambo? -3, Zoun 0. No, if Shin beats Lambo, no matter what score, it doesn't matter. If Percival... I think no matter what, Zoun advances. Because he can't drop behind Shameless. He can't drop behind Lambo. He can drop behind Lambo, but only if he drops behind Lambo, Shin also drops behind Zoun guaranteed. Zoun can't drop behind Percival. So I'm pretty sure Zoun is going to advance from this group 100% alongside Cure 100%. And then it's going to come down to Shin, Lambo, and Lambo Cure to decide whether it's Lambo, Shin, or Percival. If Shin loses 0-2... So basically if Shin loses... Yeah, let's bring this up on screen just to explain this. So basically the way this is going to work out... And again, no Lambo games today, guys. He has no internet, so he'll be playing his games next week. But the way this works out, so... Yo, I'll get that donation in a second as well. Thank you so much. So the way this works out, just to explain. So Zoun can never drop below Percival or Shameless. Zoun can only drop below Shin if Shin wins. And if Shin loses, that's the only way that Lambo gets ahead of Zoun. So Zoun is guaranteed safe, I'm 99% sure. Because if Lambo... So what can happen? So if... Lambo, say Lambo loses to Shin, Shin's always going to have better map score than Zoun and match score. So if Shin loses to Lambo, Lambo goes to 2-2. Best case scenario for Lambo, he gets to 0. But I mean, in that case, Shin's always behind Zoun. So I think Zoun is 100% safe. I don't think there's a way for Zoun. Okay, what if Lambo beats Cure, goes to 0 map score? Yeah, but... Best case scenario, Lambo 2-0's Cure, and if he loses to Shin, he's still behind Zoun on map score. So Zoun is safe, Cure is safe, and Shin depends on basically what happens with Lambo and himself. Because if Shin gets 2-0'd by Lambo, he is always going to drop behind Percival, But then if Shin gets 2-0'd by Lambo, Lambo could come above Percival and make playoffs as well if he also beats Cure, but he would have to beat Cure. Oh, this is a pretty wild situation, no? And Lambo has the head-to-head against Percival. So if Lambo 2-0's Shin, let's say, and then he goes... If Lambo goes 2-0, 1-2, if he goes 1-1, and he would have to beat Shin... He would have to beat Shin, though, because if he doesn't beat Shin, Shin's always ahead of him, and then he can never overtake Zoun if he loses to Shin. So he has to overtake Shin, like we've been saying. So Zoun is safe, so Lambo has to beat Shin and take a map off Cure, because then he could get to 0 map score if he 2-0 Shin, and if he just gets a map off Cure, he'd be -1, and that's equal with Percival, but equal with Percival, he has the head-to-head. So that's how this group is playing out, guys. That's how this group is playing out. I don't think Shin is always safe. I actually don't think this is true. Liquidpedia just updated to give Shin the green light, but I actually don't think that's true. Because, okay, think this through with me. Shin beats Lambo. Lambo beats Shin. Lambo can go to 2-2, 0 map score. Shin would be -2 map score. That alone means that Shin doesn't get through. He would immediately drop behind Zoun and Percival, right? So if Shin loses to Lambo... Now, if Shin loses but takes a map, he will always be ahead of Percival, but he could also end up behind Lambo, because Lambo could go and beat Cure as well, and then he would end up ahead of Shin, and Shin would be behind Zoun. So yeah, Shin is not safe. But Zoun is safe. Zoun and Cure are advancing 100% unless I've messed up the math somewhere. Shin, Percival, and Lambo comes down to the Lambo games against Shin and Cure. So there you go. There you go, guys. That's how this group is going to come around. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Guys, tomorrow was meant to be Group B, but we moved this because Kung Fu Cup is tomorrow. So we've moved this to next week instead. So that's going to be taking place on Tuesday next week, and that will be more games there. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I appreciate you all. I'll be back tomorrow with the Kung Fu Cup, and I am away Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to the Netherlands to play some cards. So I will be back with you guys after tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday. Okay, and then on Monday onwards, we actually on like a big grind. I'm off for like 1, maybe 2 days before Home Story Cup. So there's going to be a lot of StarCraft after that. So yeah. Cool. Cool. Awesome. Where am I going in Netherlands? I'm going to Utrecht, mate. Did I not mention this yesterday? I was going to tell you yesterday, but then you yapped on about something else instead. Yeah, I'm going to Utrecht. I figured you'd be busy. When? On Thursday. Thursday till Sunday. Yeah, I know. Terrible friend. Am I going to see Roddy? I have no idea. Enjoy, he'll message me. Nice. Heck yeah. There's a lot of Dutch people I can see. It's crazy. But yeah, I'll not be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, guys. I'll be away. But back on Monday. Alright, peace out. I'll see you guys. Ciao.
I don't think he was smurfing.